Bossy, come on, man.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. You tuned in to the Vulcan Soapbox. Yeah. Shout out to my panel. We're going to get right into it. We got a variety of topics we're going to cover. But first, I want to introduce my panel. And make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to the channel and the videos. Let me get right into it. What's up, my guy T Reasons? What's going on?
Hey, what up, fellas? What's going down, man? It's your boy T Reason. We about to get into it. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to get right.
Can y'all hear T Reason?
I heard.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. Okay. All right. So we got T Reason. What's up, Aki? Good and crazy news. What's going on?
Welcome back, y'all. I'm here again.
Yeah.
To bring it up.
Yes, man. We're glad to have you back there. And my guy, Derek Bain. What's up, man? Derek Bain. What's going on?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Glad to be back. Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, let's get it. All right, first video we're going to cover. We'll start off. Famous comedian. I know him as Corey Holcomb, man. He said some things. Actually, it was actually a Craig Facts. He's actually had some commentary on what y'all get your opinions on. All right, make sure y'all mute your background when the video is playing. All right, fellas, let me get y'all thoughts on this.
Because you got black skin don't mean you black. Just because you got black skin don't mean you black. You got to have a black conscience. So we got to let go of black being skin color. That ain't black.
I don't understand what you're saying. It makes
Skin
sense.
color ain't, that don't make you black. You got to have a black conscience. If you sell out the community and your thoughts aren't in alignment with what we need to do as a community, then you need to be expunged from the community. Just because you got black skin don't mean you black. You got to have a black conscience. So we got to let go of black being skin color. That ain't black.
I don't understand what you're saying. It makes
Skin
sense.
color ain't, that don't make you black. You got to have a black conscience. If you sell out the community and your thoughts aren't in alignment with what we need to do as a community, then you need to be expunged from the community.
Had to make sure I play it. Make sure I play that twice. All right. I know this is Derek, one of your favorite topics. We're gonna go, you're gonna be last to second to last for this one. All right, first question I got for the panel is being black a consciousness. Is being black a consciousness? Let's go ahead and start with my guy Aki. What's up, man? You're muted. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
I want to say, first of all, that blackness is not a monolith. Like, we're all different. We have from Byron Donalds to Nate Turner. So, I mean, skin color does make you black. And a consciousness of black is also a thing. But we also have differences within our own community.
I got to interject. And this is my fault. Hey, because you haven't been on for a while. So usually what we do, yes or no, the first question. That's my fault. I should said that at the beginning. So
consciousness?
Yeah, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, my guy. Aki. T Reasons, what's up?
What's up, man?
Yeah.
Hey, that was a good video. It was a little crazy, but it was a good video. I would say nah. I think he wrong. I think he right and wrong at the same time. It's really hard to go by just what he was saying right there, man.
All right, real quick, yes or no? Real quick. I know it's hard. Real quick for the audience.
I would say no. He wrong. I would say
all right, no. All right, I can say yes or no. Then Derek's favorite topic. What you think, man? Is being black consciousness? I see this. The excitement on your face. I see it.
My bad. I thought I was no.
Oh, you said no? Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. What's up, Vulcan?
I'm definitely gonna say no.
Oh man. So the only one on the panel that said
I'm in the middle, man. I'm in the middle on that one, man. I'm on the line.
All right, if you're 50-50, just go 51%. Go 51. Yeah, which one?
51, no. 51,
all right, so
no.
All right, so I thought you were going to say yes.
But I kind of teeter a little bit, man, with that. Because I feel where he's coming from.
All right. All right. You don't want to join my man Aki? Just go ahead and say yeah.
It's hard, man. I'm not fully one way or the other. I'm right in the middle on that one, man. Like, to me, that's like it's an interesting topic, man. I got a lot to say about that.
All right. All right. What's up? What's up, Aki? Give your reasons why.
Okay, well, first of all, you can't escape your blackness. So it doesn't matter what your thoughts is about blackness is. Like Byron Donalds, he can't escape his blackness, even though he acts like he's some MAGA Republican white person. Now, on the contrary, somebody who is not black can have black consciousness. You know, i.e., that lady who worked for the NAACP, and now they reduced her down to nothing because she didn't want to stand on business and say she was white, but she has a black conscience. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And there's also a lot of other non-black people who have black consciousness. But if you're already black, you can't dismiss your consciousness of being black because you already know better when you start saying dumb stuff.
All right. Y'all can hear me out there?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
All right. So my screen is going in and out. All right. Let's go with let's go. T reasons. Go ahead.
Man, at the core, man, it's not based on consciousness, but to a degree now, especially with everything going on, man, you got to have that consciousness. And I think that you got sellouts. You got people who, they don't speak for the culture, but they have platforms that they may not have a platform, but they speak for the culture. You know, I kind of disagree with what my guy was just saying, because you got people who bleach their skin. You know, you got people who do everything they can to portray anything but black. So, to me, you can kind of like sell yourself short. You can sell yourself out of it with, some of the things you do and some of the things you say. So I think to a degree, there is a consciousness that you should have as a black person, especially in America. But at the same time, I mean, that's not what ultimately defines it. But I can't say I don't like when people don't speak for the culture or align with the culture. It kind of gives me a bad taste in my mouth when I see somebody that's a sellout, a blatant sellout.
Hold on, man. You said sellout a couple times, man. What's an example of a sellout, man? Give me an example.
Like somebody that would
pedestalize. Aki got his hands up.
Somebody that would pedestalize the white community or any other community and sell out the black community and like do things that are adverse to the black movement. You know, that's not aligned to the black movement.
Okay.
In that nature.
And black movement, real quick, as far as the black movement, if you had
just the black movement, as far as like moving out of slavery and moving out of being marginalized and being in a culture that makes it a little bit harder, coming from the struggle, coming from that background, being oppressed.
Okay, yeah. I got you. All right, so just that because I just wanted you to be clear, because sometimes when people say black movement, they just say, "Oh, black movement" or "sellout." They say the same thing, not really defining it. Oh, you got some? Because you got some, Aki?
Yeah,
real quick, because I want to bring Derek and Vulcan here.
Just to be real quick, basically, you just agree with everything that I just said.
Yeah,
you just agree with me 100%. Because
except for on the fact that you can't escape your blackness.
Yeah, that's what I said. People like Candace Owens and Byron Donalds, they can't escape their blackness. Trust me.
No, but I'm saying there's people who go further than that and start bleaching their skin, to try to change their skin color and their appearance. They'll change their hair. And
Vibes Cartel did that, but he never claimed that he wasn't black.
Right. I'm just saying there are some people who go through bleaching therapy and all that type of stuff to try to get away from their blackness. You see what I mean?
I think no. I'm just disagree. I think that those people who are bleaching their skin is not to get away from blackness. It's to get away from being black in the black community. That's colorism. They're not denying their blackness. They don't want to be called black.
There's a degree of that. There's a degree. I'll give you that. There's a degree of that there.
All right. Let's give it to my guy Derek. What's going on, man? What's your thoughts? Disagreements with what T Reason is saying and Aki. Go ahead, share.
I just want to know what class, what professor, what class is there that's been created that defines black consciousness and black movement. Like just now listening to you two, y'all both have different definitions of what blackness is, what these different things are. So I'm like, where does this come from?
White
So you want
supremacy.
to ask them?
Because
Okay,
to me,
I mean, you want the
whoever.
you can. All right, so ask the question again, keep it concise, and I'm gonna have T reasons get into it, and then
When you say black movement, it should be something that everybody in the world knows what that is. Black consciousness, it should be something that everybody in the world knows what that is. If not, it's just a subjective statement we make based on what we think it is.
so the question.
The question is, who determines what black consciousness and black movement is?
All right, what's up, T reasons?
That's like basically denying culture. You know, every race and ethnicity has a culture.
Hold on, but he asked who determines it. He wants to know who determines.
That's it. Like that's what he's asking. He's asking like who defines culture. That's like saying, well, who defines white culture or who defines Hispanic culture? They still have culture. Whether you can define it definitively or objectively, the culture is still there. That movement is still there. So you can't deny culture. You're trying to deny culture by trying to minimalize it to something that you feel is one-dimensional. It's not one-dimensional.
T reason, he was just asking the question. I don't think he was trying to define culture. He had the question.
He was though.
I haven't given any thought yet.
Yeah, he was just asking the question.
No, I didn't give any thought. I asked.
You're saying there's no black consciousness. How can there be such a thing? Because everybody would have to be on the same page.
I never said that.
You said everybody would have to know the same.
All right. Hold on, Terry. Let's sell to this. All right, Derek, what are you saying before I bring it to Vulcan? What are you saying? He just asked the question. You did make some statements.
Who came up with what it is? It was my question.
Okay. All right. So let's get Aki here.
White supremacy came up with it.
All right,
I'm only black because white people say I am.
All right. So we got an answer from Aki. All right. So let's move into Vulcan. You want to express any of your thoughts, disagreements? I know you said no is black consciousness. Whatever you want to give to the panel and the audience, please share.
Well, I'll just state why I said why and let them get back to what they're talking about. For me, the reason why I said there is no black consciousness is just because, for one, we got to really define what consciousness is. And that's part of my issue a lot of times. And people get annoyed with me and frustrated with me because I'm going to make us think a little bit more than we probably want to a lot of the times. And, so I want to first start off what consciousness is. What is consciousness? Consciousness is being aware that you exist, being aware of what's going on. You're having experiences. So we got to first start off with that. And if we're using consciousness in any other way than that, we're talking about something different. I think that's going to be important. It doesn't mean it's wrong, but I think we need to know that so we don't, mislead anybody that's listening to us. People hear terms and they just run with it. Consciousness is, we know when somebody's unconscious, somebody got knocked unconscious, right? They are no longer experiencing the outside world. So we add black to it, whether we're talking about a hue, whether we're talking about ethnicity, whatever we're talking about when we say black. Tracy Ellis Ross isn't by hue black, but we would consider her black, right? So it can be a hue, it could be a culture, it could be ethnicity, whatever it is. How do we attach that back to consciousness? That's what we got to ask ourselves. Are we just saying this in a way that we mean something different than what we typically mean by conscious? If so, we need to define it. We need to define these terms apart and then back collectively. So that's what I would say. My why of why there is none.
Okay. All right. So with this, what we go ahead and close this out. I want Aki to start. No, I want T reasons to give your final thoughts on this, and we're gonna move it around. Go ahead and start off.
My final thoughts.
I'm sorry, I did ask the question. I just said anything you want to answer what Vulcan is saying, and whatever else you want to add to it, please do.
No, I think it's a good think tank on this topic because they're trying to make it more defined. You know what I mean? To me, it's just something that comes natural. I don't have to put a lot of effort into knowing what consciousness is. It's just in me. You know what I mean? And I feel like it should be that way for everybody of color, but it may or may not be. So it's an interesting thing for us to have this exchange, for us to find out different viewpoints and then also put it into defined terms. You know what I mean? What that movement means and and what it means to have a black consciousness. I think it's a very important thing that we all should possess. And I think that we can't minimize it to one this or one that. You know what I mean? It's just it's kind of hard. It's like trying to define culture. You know,
So it's
the
hard.
culture.
You can. So you say it's hard to even define it. So it's
Well,
nobody.
I'm saying it can be done, but it probably won't look as nice and neat and perfect as somebody would want it to be. But I'm saying it's just like culture. Like when you
said that
a part
earlier,
of-
I want to bring Vulcan. I hate to cut you off, but there's a particular direction I do want to go. All right, Vulcan, I want to ask you this. He said you can't define. Oh, let me take this off. He said you can't define culture. It's like not defining culture. What's your thoughts on that?
Let me make sure I understand it. So you saying that reason you're saying that you can't define culture?
like various cultures from different races, like white culture versus black culture versus Hispanic culture versus Asian culture.
And we're saying we can't define it. That's what I make sure that's what we're saying.
Yes, I'm saying to define those things that are so abstract, it's a very difficult thing to do.
So you said it's difficult or we can't?
It's almost like you can't. It's almost like you can't.
You're saying pretty much in practicality.
Because culture evolves over time. You see what I mean? So something that could have been a part of the culture in the 1800s ain't part of the culture in the 21st century.
I'll say this in light of that. You know, throughout school from 1st to 12th grade, even going into college and getting into sociology, we do have culture defined, obviously, for us. The people that get their degree in sociology, they study cultures from the Aztecs to modern cultures today. And they have it pretty honed into a really good science. You know, it has to do with culture is how you're cultivated. So you think about your cuisine, your religion, you know, your artifacts. Those are typically what we mean by culture. You know, the music, style of worship, all those things is how we define culture. Would you say that that's a fair enough definition of culture, what we see within a sociology book?
I would say so, yeah.
So now when you add the elements of white culture, black culture, that gets into more generalizations. And I can see why you might say that gets more difficult and more abstract. Because you might be pulling different white people from different parts of the world, the Polish white person versus the German white person versus the Irish white person, and it's not going to be all the same.
Or an American versus the African American.
It was 100 years ago, because with the internet and everything like that, people from New York can sound like people from New Orleans now a little bit, because everybody can hear everybody and everybody can listen to different kind of music. You know, I was talking to a guy yesterday and he was saying people say he's from all different parts of the country because he listens to all different kinds of music. And so and TV shows, and so he picks up on their vernacular and their speech patterns. So I can definitely see what you're saying about that. I would just say in any kind of conversation, I always say, well, I'll start with this quote that I usually see on the show: you can't manage what you can't measure. You can't manage what you can't measure. So if we are going to be discussing things that we can't really measure, things that we really can't tie down to some type of definition, then it's going to be hard for it to be useful in any type of conversation, useful to build anything, because we don't know what it is. We can't really define what it is and what it's not, and what it's good for and what it's not good for. So that's the difficulty whenever we're talking about certain concepts, but we have this hesitation or reluctance or difficulty in defining what it is, because then we're just throwing stuff out there and hoping it sticks.
Okay. All right. Look, yeah, and I said culture, but I know he was using. It's hard to define culture is the same as not defining consciousness, and I did want you to chime in on that too, Vulcan. But I mean, what you just said makes sense for consciousness too, as well, right? I'm asking you that we can define consciousness.
Yeah, it makes sense for consciousness too. I defined consciousness a little bit earlier, you know, and so the same rules apply. If you can't measure, if you can't manage it, you can't measure it. You know, those of us who are familiar with SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based. We got to have quantifiable things. We got to have KPIs. If you're in real estate, you have comps. You're going to need the numbers. You're going to need to compare things. If you're any type of industry you're in, they're finding numbers so they can make the product or the industry or their company more scalable. We got to be able to have predictive models that we can use so that we can scale. That applies to intellectual concepts as well as businesses.
Yes, sir. All right, Aki, I see you itching. You ready to chime in? Go ahead, Aki. What's up, man?
Listen, as far as consciousness goes and culture together, I don't have to think about it, T, or anybody on this panel. I'm not attacking you. I'm sorry. I just broke one of the rules. Didn't mean to do that. when I was born into this world, I was born into blackness. I was born into black culture when I became conscious of myself. I didn't have to decide about it. Now, if I was born and raised by white people, that's something totally different. But I was born by a black woman in a black community and grew up in blackness, in the black culture, where my consciousness, when Jesus said that when I took my first breath when I was born, and my consciousness came in, as far as America knew, I was a black man. Well, but you know what I'm saying.
My God. All right. So
to say that you don't know anything about consciousness and culture is not tied together, they are definitely tied together.
All right, Derek. Let's go, Derek. Let you have the last word. Derek Bang, you have the last word.
I mean, I think Vulcan said it when he started to explain the definition of consciousness. It's like, if consciousness is what it means, if it's just in a state of being awake and aware of your surroundings, I don't know, man. Whenever we start putting these labels on there, I mean, I'm black. I grew up in the hood. I get it, but I understand. I don't look at life through the black struggle eyes. I don't look at life through that at all. And so, even in the panel now, when you hear black consciousness, I think T. Reason and Alki are saying the same thing, but they're saying two different things. They're like, they're saying they're agreeing with each other, but they're saying two different things.
Now hold on.
I think when you go back to what
drinking, but my name is not Alki. Okay, my name is Aki, A-K-I, not Alki.
My bad. My bad, Aki.
Come on, man, get down with the culture, man. Use your consciousness, man. Come on now.
Hey, you better be glad I'm Christian and can't say that F word above in front of the word culture.
Oh Lord.
I am not a guy who gives a crap about that. Not at all. I like everybody the way they are. I don't care what race, what race they're about. I get it from either end.
All right, that's good. Shout out to that. All right, so I think that let's close this out. Did pretty good. Let's get to the next video.
Let's do it.
And man, this is just going to have to just want to prepare y'all. This is here we go.
Uh-oh.
We ain't done with the race stuff. All right. Another Derek's favorite topic. Let's get into it.
Shall we? Play the scenario out, shall we? You shoot me, right?
You die. Yeah,
I might die. I might die.
You gonna die, nigga.
But
these
ready?
762's gonna bust your melon open, nigga.
But ready? Guess what? You'll be going to prison for the rest of your life then.
I ain't going to prison for nothing, nigga. Because
so you would be willing to throw your life away, right?
Damn right, nigga. All I gotta do is me a 30 back. I'm gonna kill you, nigga. Fuck.
Listen, that's
niggas,
good enough.
Yo, I got
me.
mad niggas. Yo, I could call 30 niggas on my phone that want to kill you, gang. Duck your melon.
Sounds good to me. I'm excited about it.
Yo, would you call me nigger in my face? Would
yes,
you
I
say
would.
that in my face?
Yes, I would.
Well, I got this fucking stick in my pants. You'll say it in my face?
Yep.
So you're willing to die behind that word? You're willing to die behind that?
Because it would prove me right.
Say no more. Say no more. You want to meet that, Paul?
Because it would prove me right. It would prove everything that I have ever said for the years that I've been doing this 100% right. That you niggers do not deserve to live in civilized society. You never have, you never will, and no matter what you do, no matter how much money you have, you will always be a worthless nigger. So
Paul,
you're
I'm a
saying,
22-year-old young man.
Fellas, microphone check 1 2 1 2. Fellas, microphone check 1 2 1 2. Which character would you pick as your family's neighbor? Start with T Reasons.
Man, I'm triggered, man. I seen this video. I think we watched it before, but I'm triggered all over again.
Oh.
If I had to choose, I would. If I could say neither one of them, I wouldn't want to be next to neither one of them. But if I gotta choose between the two, if I have to make a choice, I'm gonna choose the brother over the white guy. Period.
Sorry, fellas, I'm back in. Sorry, T Reese, did he give us? Did you give your answers? I was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
said
did.
I would choose. I would choose the black guy.
All right, black guy. Let's go. Let's go with Derek.
Okay, what character would you pick as a family? The white guy.
Oh, white guy. All right, Aki.
Yeah.
T, are you a Libra?
Hold on with that.
Nah.
Because you always in the middle. It's like I'm in the middle, but I'm a choose the side real quick.
Because I mean, both of them kind of tick me off, but I feel like the white guy pissed me off even more.
Well, I'll put it to you like this: the brother is definitely going to be my family's neighbor, and as a matter of fact, if he lived next door to me right now, I'm having brunch with his ass this weekend.
Okay, so Aki said the brother. T Reese is the brother. Vulcan. Derek Baines said the white guy. Let's go with Vulcan.
So for me, I'm gonna have to go with for my family. I'm gonna have to go with my the white guy on this one.
Okay. Oh, we got split two versus two. First, let's get to
I gotta
the
buy my
top.
family their own pot of land.
Okay. All right.
Come on, man. Come on, Vulcan. I thought you knew better, man.
Clicks at this point, you just looking for clicks.
All right, hold on, fellas. Let's read the comments. What's happening? Vulcan Soapbox. I want to hear some good logic and reasoning. Shout out to Help the Bear, not just T Reason. Shout out to T Reason. Let Fresh live. Let Fresh live this time, Aki. Oh yeah, that's an insider. Aki, they had a good back and forth, good exchange on one of our previous episodes. All right, so let's go ahead and start with T Reason. You said the black guy, the brother. Why? Keep it concise.
Man, I disagree with Vulcan and oh boy heavily on this one. Because I feel as though y'all weren't listening to the exchange. I think y'all got triggered by the fact that he had a gun, and y'all completely ignored the fact that guy said that y'all don't deserve to live. You see what I'm saying? So he's taking it as far as the guy with the gun, but the guy with the gun only wants to take the person who's saying the N-word out. But the other guy, the racist guy, wants to take out every black person in America. He said you don't deserve to live on this planet. So it's like, how do y'all want that person that does not like your blackness and hates your skin color and thinks that we're all in the same box? There's no differentiator between us. And he's using a word that they know they're not supposed to say openly on camera over and over again.
Passion, a lot of passion. So just keep it concise. What I gather from you is this. The reason you go with the black guy, because Vulcan and Derek is ignoring what the white guy said. Okay,
he want to commit genocide. He want to kill all black people off.
And that's why you choosing the black guy, because the white
guy. Yeah, the black guy has one enemy. He got one enemy. The person saying the N-word. The white guy looks at every black person as the enemy.
All right, so let's get your partner here. Let's get Aki here. And you explain why.
Well, it's like this. I mean, everybody's a hater these days. Especially on black people. And my thing is like this: if you're gonna use that type of language, I'm here for you getting popped.
So you, like he said, you agree with how my man was talking. Give him all he needed some walk and a 30 pack.
And I don't need to explain myself or my reasoning, because that type of person, he will never understand, no matter how much you try to talk to him, reason with him, and show him why black people are very important to this country, how we built this country and everything like that. He's never going to see anything, because he agrees with the white man mantra that tells the poorest white man, you tell him that he's better than a black person, and he'll let another white man take his fucking money. Take his money.
All right. So, hold on, Aki. Sometimes I'm doing certain things. I'm slow. So I don't think I heard your why. Why'd you choose I'm behind. So why'd you choose the black guy? Yeah.
As my neighbor, as my family's neighbor. Yeah. Because he's going to protect us.
He's going, all right. You said protect. My guy T Reason said because the white guy is talking about genocide. All right, Derek, come in. What's up? What you thinking? You muted. Okay.
Well, I think I didn't hear the part where he said all, but I need more context because the reason that my decision was what it was if I'm looking at that particular brother that was speaking on camera, then I can absolutely see why somebody that doesn't like people of color says what he says. I, I would need to know what he thinks about the black banker, the black politician. I need to see how he feels about just other blacks in general. But that brother on the screen, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness! But as soon as the video started, I was like, "Oh, this
Wanting the white man as
ninja
your
here."
neighbor is like wanting Nick Fuentes as your neighbor. Like, bye.
I do got a question. You say he will protect us
Just
from.
in the lane with us.
Hold on there. I want to ask Aki. Well, you said the reason you chose the black guy because he's going to protect us from. Finish my
Radical
sentence.
white people.
Mm.
Radical,
You gonna-
MAGA white people.
Okay.
I don't hate all white people. I'm talking about that. What was on the screen right there was a MAGA radical Republican that probably claims he's a Christian that follows Paul and not Jesus.
What's that mean?
Claims he's a Christian.
What? Hey, elaborate on that. I'm curious. What's that mean?
Y'all, somebody will get a straight bullet with that brother.
Because people are these white MAGA that they say that they Christians, they're not following Jesus, they following Paul, the apostle Paul. They're not following nothing that Jesus said. They're following everything that apostle Paul said and claiming that that's the gospel, because Jesus would never do none of the stuff that they doing out here, starving people, not paying
Wait a
people.
minute, wait a minute. So you say Paul would do these things?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. I never heard that perspective before. Okay. So
You need to look.
so well, let me focus. All right. Vulcan. What's your thoughts, man? Well, Aki, I know you disagree with Aki and T reasons. Talk to me.
So the reason why I would, so again, when I'm approaching these topics, and again, part of the reason for this show is that we have these conversations every day in the barbershop. I know Aki and I have had these conversations, at lunch and dinner with our, 501(c)(3)s and stuff like that we do to support the community. I know Aki's very active in the community. We have these conversations all the time, a casual conversation, and people get heated and everybody has different opinions, all that kind of stuff happens. What I don't see happen in most of these conversations is we never actually look at the sciences, science meaning the knowledges of the knowledge that's available to us that would help us to start to discern what is true, what is not. How do we go about figuring these things out? So the question is about who would I want my family to live with? I'm taking that as a risk management question. That's a risk management question. Now we're in good luck, good fortune, right? Because there's literally a bunch of material available to us about risk management. So I was trying to take some notes while everybody was talking, and I wanted to pull up the criteria really quick for risk management. And I'm going to use this acronym RMC, and it says likelihood, probability of occurrence. So when I'm looking at these two gentlemen and looking at the potential harm, one of the things I'm considering is, what is the likelihood of a negative occurrence happening where something's going to happen negative to my family based off them being the neighbor? Number two, impact. With these people living there, what's the impact on the community? What's the impact on my family specifically, right? The next one, risk appetite. These organizations' tolerance. How tolerant are these people going to be when it comes to things that they don't like? How are they going to respond? How tolerant are they? The next one, risk threshold, acceptable levels. And then the mitigation strategies. How can we control the action and stuff like that? Those are the things. I don't want to keep waxing long on this topic, but I'll just say this right here. The reason why I picked the white guy as opposed to the black guy, obviously none of us would want to live near either one of them. Well, I don't mind living next to the young brother. But for me, I'm looking at one age. Young people have less to lose, generally speaking. That's why Charleston White said it best one time. He says, gangs don't recruit men, they recruit boys. That's the more impressionable people. So if I have an old man of any color and a young man of any color, and I had to guess which one's more likely to do me harm, it's probably going to be the younger person because higher testosterone levels, less to lose. And statistically, we know that's true. Younger men are more prone to commit acts of violence, generally speaking.
You talk about micro aggressions, not macro, because Donald Trump is destroying the entire country right now. And he's not young or poor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I'll say this right here. If it comes to somebody having control of an organization that can affect what I got going on, then yes, I would agree with Aki. At that point right there, then I'm gonna have to change my risk management strategy at that point in time because they can impact me. But if we're just talking about a singular person, a white guy like you saw in there and a young, black man, and I have to just pick who's more likely to hurt my family. There's kids out there roughly his age, whatever's going on right there. I'm thinking this older gentleman, whether he's racist or not, is not willing to risk what he would have to risk to do harm to my family.
He just told you that he was all in 100% locked in with his racism.
100% agree.
He's going to be bringing verbal harassment and intimidation to your people. He's going to be bringing property damage and vandalism to your area. He's going to be physically violent towards your wife and your children. The white one.
How do you know that?
I think y'all missed a lot of stuff that he was saying when he was talking. And I think that y'all were so focused on the guy with the gun, y'all didn't realize the other guy has an even bigger stick. And he has an even worse mindset because he believes all black people should be removed. He said they don't belong in society.
Let's just play, because I didn't hear that. I think it's
play
that.
No, he's right. He did say that.
Okay.
But I think they need to see it again so they can understand how severe it is.
Well,
it's not just.
I'm referring. Hold on, T Reasons.
It wasn't subtle. It was overt. It was the dog whistle.
T Reasons. Hold on. I was talking about. But go ahead, Vulcan. Go ahead.
I was going to say really quick, when you look at it, though, one guy is saying something that you can infer means he would wipe us out because that's what the guy is saying, which is clear, right? Because again, if you listen to people who are radically racist like that, a lot of those people still don't want to break the law because they don't want to risk losing what they have. So the thing is, they can have all the racist ideas and they can be on the internet talking. That doesn't mean they're going to touch you specifically.
You don't remember the lady in Florida who shot the black lady through the door?
Again, I'm not saying
a grown ass woman.
Facts.
Oh, well, let me ask you this.
That's a good one. That's a good example right there.
I
think the problem, Vulcan.
We're gonna get you two reasons. Hold on.
Real quickly, I want to hear what you have to say, T Reason, on that, but I want to address what Aki's saying right here. This is my issue, and it was funny because I was having a debate earlier with somebody, and I always say this right here: you don't compare the one situation to it being there and not being there. We got to put both side by side. Yes, people get taken out by racists. People also get taken out by young black men. I'm looking at the numbers. What does the numbers say? Who am I most likely to be deleted by? Does anybody on the panel know? Who am I most likely to be personally deleted by? It's a young black male. The number one cause of death for me in my age group. Number one cause of death for me in my age group is homicide.
According to the CDC.
For other gentlemen on here, it's heart disease, I believe. But for me, it's homicide. So you got to understand, I'm looking at risk management. Risk management. This is not an emotional decision I'm making. I'm looking at risk management here. But go ahead.
Okay, so I want to speak to that risk management. So what you're dealing with is one person that has beef with one person he's talking to because he's using a word that has always triggered the level of response that he's getting.
It hasn't always.
Yes, it has. Historically, it has.
No.
There's a reason why they don't say that word anymore, because they know what comes with saying that word. And he's trouncing all over that.
But you're saying
so hold on, let me get to my point. This guy has beef with one person. The guy that you're saying you're okay with has beef with an entire race. And you're assuming that he will never act on it. You're assuming. You're saying risk. You're saying risk adversity. You're saying that the white guy's least likely to. When I disagree with that, he's more likely to because he said you don't deserve to live in society. He said that.
But again, so
if given the
Hold on,
opportunity,
T Reasons, give him a chance to respond.
I'm basing off statistics, right? I'm basing off statistics, and I'm also basing off the person who actually pulled out a mock gun on the screen. You see what I'm saying? So you're basing it off of your mind, extrapolating things. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, T Reason. I'm just saying from a scientific clinical standpoint, one is actually showing and pulling out and saying, I will take your life over your words. The other person is saying, I don't want to live around you. Y'all always like that. Y'all always be like that. Both guys are bad. I'm saying one, optically speaking and statistically speaking, is more likely to harm your family. Do you disagree with what I'm saying there? Not about the conclusion, but my premises, my 2 points.
I think he's less, because you got to think about the.
Teresa, like we said in the beginning, answer the question. Do you agree or disagree? Let's start
with those. I disagree. I disagree with that.
And statistically, and the other one was one of them is pulling out a mock a firearm on the screen, and the other one's just saying words.
But he's telling you exactly why he wants to kill this person.
But why do this? All right.
The other guy is saying that. So there's two things that are happening.
Hold on. Let's just settle this. Hold on. This is what I want you to do, because you said that he was assuming things, and he said he wasn't. He didn't have any assumptions. What I want you to do, can you please still man what Vulcan is saying to see if y'all on the same page?
Vulcan is saying that if you look at the statistics, a black male his age is more likely to die from a young black male than an older white male.
Okay,
and I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay, and so hold on. Let me ask Vulcan. You said that Vulcan. Did he still man you correctly?
As far as my first premise, he did a really good job.
Okay,
yes.
All right. So that's the first premise. Okay, all right. So you say you disagree with that premise. Why do you disagree with that person? Yeah, wholeheartedly. Why do you disagree with that premise?
Because the other guy wants to commit genocide on an entire race.
Okay, so
he's telling you that on screen. And you're so fixated on the guy who's willing to defend his color because he's defending. Because he's defending.
I don't want to keep cutting you off. This is what I want to do. Once you answer the question of why you disagree, get Vulcan a chance and get the exchange going back and forth before you go on your rant. No disrespect,
but I want to get all the way through to my point first. I want to make my whole entire point, and then I want him to refute my point.
Because you made that point already. That's why I chimed in. You already made that point all throughout your points, that we ignore certain things that he's saying. But I'm gonna re-invite you. Go ahead. You can just make the point again. It's fine. Go ahead and do it right now.
So basically, the guy is saying that he doesn't like the guy with the gun because he's black. And he's saying that if he dies, it will prove him right. So he's willing to try to start a fire just to prove he can set the house on fire and the house gonna burn down. That's intent. Okay? Instead of him saying, you know what, maybe I shouldn't say this word because everybody knows he shouldn't say it. He's actively trying to trick. I'm triggered just by hearing him say the things he's saying. And I'm thinking like he could bring that level of rage out of me. And I'm a very nonviolent person. So it's like you're looking at a guy that has an issue with one person versus the guy that has an issue with an entire race and an entire group of people.
All right. That's the point. All right. Vulcan, I want you to respond to that.
Again, like I said, my point was 2 points. One was statistically, and the other one was when you look at the two guys, T Reason's point is he only has an issue with that particular guy. Mm-hmm. I think it's dangerous. I don't agree with T Reason, even though I see why he's saying that, because I think anytime somebody says, I can delete you because you're saying something that I think is bad, that I believe is bad, that I know is bad, to me, that's more dangerous than somebody who doesn't like a group of people, right? But they haven't threatened violence towards them.
I think that you're missing the point, Vulcan. I think you're missing the point. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, I think you're missing the point. The point that the black guy is making is that the white guy is so pompous and brash. It's not the black guy saying any white person that comes to me and says the N-word, I'm going to delete them. That's not what he's saying. He's saying because you are so pompous and brash and willing to die in order to disrespect me and my family and my culture in front of my face, I'm willing to shoot your ass.
And my thing is, if I was with Aki and Derek and T Reason and Enos and we're out somewhere And for some reason the liquor got a hold of them and they started saying the most craziest things in the wrong environment. I would still defend Aki, T. Reeves, and Derek and Enos's life to say, look, I know my friend right now is tripping, but you cannot take their life. Period.
Man, let's all right.
We
Let's
don't know if the young man was going to actually do that. He was just saying that, just like the white man was taunting him with the idea of standing in front of his face and doing all of that. The black guy, he was doing the same thing back to him. We don't know if they would actually go through with those two things because they're not even together. They're not even in the same room. We don't even know if they're in the same state or in the same country. They're both threatening each other. That's all.
So let me address what Aki just said. I 100% agree, but that's why I'm saying in that scenario, if the liquor got a hold of you and we out somewhere and you popping off, I don't know if the person that's on the other side that's mad is actually going to do it. I'm still going to say, don't hurt my friend. I know his words suck, but don't touch my friend's life. Don't do that. I don't know if he's going to do it, and you don't know he's doing it. The liquor got a hold of you.
Friend, though? Who's your friend in this situation?
Aki, Derek, T. Reason, and Eno. I'm saying if you popping off because the liquor got a hold of you and you saying outrageous things, I'm still going to tell the person, I don't think I'll do anything to you or not. I'm just saying they can't take your life. And I will defend that they can't take your life. And I'm defending this racist person's stink too, because they're still an American, as far as I can tell, and saying you can't take their life because of what they're saying.
I want Derek. What's your thoughts of what Aki and T. Reeves are saying, or even what Vulcan is saying, man? Chime in. I haven't heard you say much on this topic.
Well, the white guy didn't threaten, unless I missed something completely, but he didn't threaten. He said that he doesn't care about any of us. That's not a threat. That's just him making a statement. He don't give a crap about. He don't want to be around us or whatever. That's not him threatening them in any way. The fact that
he's standing with a militia that's willing, the members of the militia that are willing to do that, he's standing with them.
He said you don't deserve to be here. He said you don't deserve to be here, and he said you don't deserve to live in modern society. That's what he said.
Okay.
So that right there, he's saying that you deserve to die right there. So he's saying you deserve to die. Because he's saying you deserve to die, he's obviously willing to take whatever lengths is required to remove those people. He would be okay with modern day lynching. He would be okay with a lot of activities as long as the law would allow.
You know why?
We don't even know if he want to do it legally or illegally. He's openly saying these things on camera. But we're giving the benefit of the doubt to the racist, but we're not giving the benefit of the doubt to the brother. So that's what really bothers me is the brother doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, but we assume that the white guy's not going to act on any of the threats he's making. And I think that's asinine. That's crazy. Ludicrous.
Well, let's hold on. You still haven't said anything where he's threatened. He hasn't threatened him yet.
Yes, he did.
And if
he said you don't deserve to live.
Hold on. That's not a threat. That's not a threat. But let's say he
don't deserve to live. That means I think you should die. He's basically saying I think you should die.
T reasons. Hold on. Let's keep the exchange. He asked the question. Just finish your statement, Derek. Just allow him to finish his statement and then respond, please.
So here's why I'm disagreeing with that. If the white guy felt the way these two guys are saying that he is, he would have told that brother right there in his face, if you come in my face, I'll kill you before you. He didn't say none of that. All he said, he made his statements known about how he don't like black people or whatever. We don't deserve to be here and all that other kind of crap. That's all he said.
No, that's not what that means.
Wait, T reasons. Wait.
I want to piggyback on Derek, and it's going to be 10 seconds or less. We can get the exchange going. I just want to add to Derek's point. And again, this is not me defending the white guy at all. I don't like him more than I don't like the young brother. But I'm just talking about, like I said, for me, it's just cut the emotions and let's risk management. So that's why I gave y'all my two reasons. But to Derek's point, in close, what I'm saying is this. The white guy's whole point was, and this is not just to him, a lot of people have made this point, you don't belong in civilized society because you would take my life over a disagreement, over what you don't like about what I'm saying.
Did he say that?
Hold on. That's what he said. That's what he said in the video. That's literally what he said in the video. He's saying you're proving my point because you would actually take my life because of what I'm saying. And that's why and that's historically what civilized society has been about. When people come into civilized society, it's like, look, we can hate each other's guts, the Hatfields and the McCoys. For anybody who's understanding historical context,
That's white on white crime, by the way.
100% facts. But you can't touch my life. Charleston White told the gangsters. This is what Charleston White told the gangsters. Says black people got to understand this. Just because you don't like somebody, don't mean you could touch their life.
Okay, this. I
need to say this. This is not fair. This is not fair. I have to say this.
Yeah,
Vulcan. Hold on. Vulcan. You and Derek are missing the entire point here.
Absolutely.
Listen, what you're missing is the fact that the white guy who said that he doesn't think that black people should be in society, it's not a microcosm threat. It's a macro threat.
He didn't say that.
I don't care if my brothers, my KKK brothers, or whoever does something to you or whatever, I'm not going to stand in front of the bullet and say, don't kill the black man. Yeah, kill that nigga. That's what he's saying.
All right. Hold on. Let me just give some correction for the audience. The guy said nigger. Oh, niggers. He didn't say black people. And two, this one I want to ask Aki and T Reasons. I didn't hear y'all respond to Vulcan saying you can't just delete somebody because of what they're saying. We are in America where we practice freedom of speech. All right. This guy is saying, I'm going to take your life. Neither one of y'all responded to that. I'm going to take your life because of what you said.
I'm responding to it right now. I told you that the white man's idea is that
I'm not addressing the white man right now.
I am though, because he's
okay.
Not,
so you got to respond to what I'm asking. Aki.
He's saying that he's not going to be the one with the gun. What he's saying is that if my Aryan brothers or whoever they are, the fellow racist people that he has in his background or plan or whatever, he doesn't care what they do to you because he specifically has not threatened you. But so what he's going to do is go back and tell his little Klansmen, guess what this N-word said to me over here, and stand back and watch what happens.
Absolutely.
All right, Aki, you're still not responding to me. Let me get to reasons. What are your thoughts? This is me hearing Vulcan and Derek. Derek said you hear no threats, and Vulcan said the deletion part, saying you're going to take somebody's life over words, going against the freedom of speech amendment right.
Okay, so it goes back to what he was saying about Charleston White. If the black people in the community were as much as a threat as this white guy believes it is, and Charleston White believes it is, Charleston White would be dead right now. That white dude would be dead right now. It's all talk. They just like the white guy's getting the benefit of the doubt, the black guy gets the benefit of the doubt too, because he has not deleted this white guy.
Okay, so
you're taking his word at face value, but you're not taking the white guy's word at face value. You're giving the white guy the benefit of the doubt, but you're not holding the black guy to the same standard. Okay,
well, who's a bigger risk? Who's a bigger risk?
They both are. The white guy is the bigger risk. He wants to kill more people.
I heard Vulcan say risk.
The white boy has a cavalry behind him. The black man does not have a cavalry.
I'm about to mute you, Aki. I heard Vulcan say risk management. I'm just telling you what I heard. He used who's most likely to take our lives as black men at our age. That's statistics. That's
the white guy.
No, we gave the
racist white supremacist who's exercising his white supremacy on camera.
Reasons. You're not responding to what I'm asking. That's not what the stat says. The stat says us, people that look like us.
I disagree with that. I would love. I need to see what stats you're talking about.
All right.
And I need you to understand that men are killed by men. Black men are killed by white men. Black men are killed by black men.
So you disagree?
So this is what I would say.
No, I'm asking you a question. You disagreed. I'm gonna ask you this question. So you saying right now you disagree that we are more likely to get murdered by somebody that look like us? You saying?
No. It's deeper than that because that's so that.
Yes or no.
I agree with that, but there's more to the story. So like, here's what's happening. Okay, if you look at the white community, the most deaths they have are from other white males.
Exactly the same what's going on in our community.
So if you look at the black community, the more deaths they have are from black males because that's who is right next to them.
So
that does not mean that black males are more aggressive or less aggressive than white males.
Never said that. Never said
no,
that.
You are saying that because
No, let
Because
me
you're
respond.
saying
Two
that.
reasons. Let the exchange go. Let me respond. I asked you in the beginning, Vulcan gave the stats most likely to get deleted by black people. You disagreed. Then I rephrased the question like, who's most likely to get murdered, deleted by what black person more likely to get murdered by us? Then you agreed. So you contradicted yourself.
No, I did not, because
All right.
that's who your neighbor is. That
How
your
you
neighbor, you're now this white guy is now your neighbor. Okay,
audience?
he's not your neighbor right now. So what I'm saying is, when he becomes your neighbor, now the stats will show he's more likely of a threat, because initially in the neighborhood you're going to be surrounded. If you black, you're going to be in a black neighborhood. If you white, you're going to be in a white neighborhood. But if you
Okay,
have
that's
a
the question.
racist,
2 reasons. That's the question. Who would you want
no,
to be your neighbor? If the black
exactly.
guy,
So now for the question,
exactly what?
now the person that's in your neighborhood is now the white person. Now that person that would typically not be your neighbor is now your neighbor. He don't like your skin color. It pisses him off every time he sees it.
Y'all
And he can't
gaslighting
wait
at
to get
this
rid of
point.
you.
Y'all gaslighting.
He can't
at
wait
this
to get
point.
rid of you.
All right, so
I think y'all want to keep on going. Y'all keep going. But I know Aki had a point he wanted to make. I just want to clarify. I said young and black. 80-year-old, 70-year-old, 60-year-old, black man.
But he gave some pretty good examples of older males
It's
that
very
would
unlikely to
be
touch me. But
that white lady who shot the lady through the door. That's a good example of violence from an older person. So the age really doesn't play as big of a.
Talk about an example. I'm about statistically, a 60-year-old man is less likely to attack you than a 20-year-old. That's to argue with that. It means you don't even care about truth.
A murderer is a murderer. A murderer is a murderer.
I do want to get 2 reasons response to that.
Molester. Just because you made it to 60 without getting caught does not mean that you will never do it again.
Yeah, well, we talk about what statistics said. What's likely to happen? That these are stats.
Like T was saying a minute ago, when you live in the black community, you're more likely to be killed by a black person. Y'all are sitting up here. Y'all sitting up here pretending like y'all don't know that the whole weekend is full of Dateline NBC, all of these shows, what your mama do at night, what your daddy did on the weekend, about all these white folk killing their families and stuff. Y'all still here trying to pretend like y'all don't know that.
Well, okay, that's not the
Every
topic.
day, there's so many shows. But see, when white people kill each other, it has to be so outrageous to make the news. Because guess what? Taking your daughter and your son and dumping them in a silo is something that they do every day.
All right. Appreciate it, bro.
And
that's not the topic.
We didn't go around lynching. We didn't go around dragging people from cars. We didn't go around skinning people and beating them with whips. So you got to think about, when they say make America great again, what exactly are they talking about? What period in time are they talking about?
1950.
All right, all right, this is what we're gonna do. Keep it concise, less than a minute. Give your closing statements on this topic, which you want to lead the audience. T reasons, you up first. Concise, less than a minute.
Yeah, I think it's crazy to think that the white guy's less of a threat. I think he's smart enough to know not to make a threat on camera. That doesn't mean that he wouldn't make the threat if the camera wasn't recording him. So just because he won't make the threat, anybody of color knows that saying the N-word is fighting words. So you're allowing this person to antagonize another person when you should be speaking up and saying he's out of his rabbit ass mind for even saying that word repeatedly on camera that way, so comfortably. Everybody knows that's a trigger word. Everybody knows where I come from. That's
10 seconds left. 10 seconds.
That's fighting words where I come from. I don't like the fact that he said it. And I think if you go back and look at the video, you'll see he's more of a threat than the actual black brother was.
All right, my guy. Aki, please keep it concise, less than a minute. Leave what you want to leave the audience with on this particular topic.
I'm going to repeat what I said again. The white man was gaslighting the black man to get him all wound up and say, so he can say, see, look how they act. Look what they do. That's what he was doing. And unfortunately, because Vulcan said that the black man is young, he fell into the trap of being gaslit. When the white man is clearly the threat, he can go back and tell his KKK members at any time, look at this video. He said that he got 30 people that can come and have smoke for me. But see, the older person has sense enough not to say that shit on camera. He gonna say it behind the scenes. And then when the young black man get popped by one of the white man's associates, then what y'all gonna say then? What y'all gonna say?
All right. Good. You did that less than a minute. Before I'm gonna get Derek in here, I'm gonna read to the comments. Shout out to Help the Bear said the white guy for me, he is not going to influence my kids. As a matter of fact, he could help them become better people. The black guy might have my kids drinking lean and that carrying that 30 pack. For folks don't know that 30 pack means 30,000. All right, so let me get
Y'all don't know that there's poor white folk out there that act crazy as hell, just like what y'all want to say.
Hold on, Aki. Hold on. Let's get these comments, man. Oh yeah. Okay. Said, did it have to do some black or black? Oh, it did have to do some black on black crime. All right, my guy Help the Best says, random words make me violent. T reason, but he's a nice guy. Shout out to him. I didn't think that when you said that. T reasons. That was that's an interesting point. All right, the leading cause of death for black men are other black men. We said that. Leading cause of death for white men isn't other white men. That's true. Look at the CDC report. Y'all missed the point. You are safer with the white guy. I don't know if y'all know this. Actually, you look at the CDC report. I think at the ages for 20 is car accidents, and then after that for white men is deletion. So technically, I was talking to somebody about this. A white man is more likely to delete themselves before they actually do harm to us. All right, let's get to my guy, Derek Bay. All right, keep it concise. To talk to the audience, what you want to leave us with.
All right. Well, what I want the audience to know is obviously you don't want to live next to either one of these dudes. The black guy is going to put you in a situation where he's going to be doing drive-bys when people say ignorant stuff to him, and you're going to be in the crossfires of that. I think the ignorant white guy with his racism is threat in words. If that guy said the exact same thing to me, you can't get me riled up with nigga. You can't get me riled up with those words. I appreciate how you feel, bro. Hey, think what you think. You can't affect me at all by you thinking the way you think. This is America. You can say whatever you want to say. I ain't got nothing dumb and crazy, incriminating to say to prove his point.
All right, and I'm gonna just say this: like one of my favorite movies. I think I love my wife. What Chris Rock said, "I'm nobody's nigga. I've never been never been a nigga. I'm nobody's nigga." So he wasn't talking to me, the white guy. I don't know who he was. He wasn't talking to me. I'm a black man. So let me get my guy Vulcan here. You got the last word on this topic, man. Talk to us, man. Bring the logic and reasons, man. Help us out, man.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of logic or reason, at least I don't think, on this topic. I want to say I agree with T Reason and Aki about the fact that I think the guy is talking about all black people and with the N-word. So that's what we're all on the same page about.
Yeah.
You know, again, my point to the audience and to everybody on the panel was just that statistically speaking, a younger person, regardless of color, is more likely to do harm to you, statistically speaking. That's my feelings aside. That's just math. Also, if he happens to be black, he's more likely to want to actually do harm to me, statistically speaking. Whether he wants to or not, just statistically speaking, if you look at the numbers, that's more likely.
That's not right. And you're wrong.
Wait.
I'm wrong.
I'm not going to sit here and let you spit out.
I gotta mute you.
Hold on. Don't mute. Don't stop me, please.
I don't want you to sit up here and spit out. What's the most dangerous state in the country?
Well, hold on.
State in the United States.
That's right. I'm not afraid of being wrong. Tell Enos what you want him to pull up to show the numbers.
Oh, we got it.
Alaska is the most dangerous state in America.
Aki, you want to do that? Are you sure you want to do that?
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Alaska is the most dangerous state in America.
Well, what I'm saying is, because again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't mind being shown I'm wrong on the show. Tell him what to pull up so we can see that I'm more likely to be attacked by somebody who's not a black person than a black person. If you can show it, then show it. I don't mind being wrong. If you want to be
attacked by a black person, then why don't you move the plane out?
No, what I'm saying is, I'm saying statistically speaking, I'm more likely to be attacked by a young person and more likely
because you live in black neighborhoods.
Again, I'm not your enemy. I don't disagree with you about that.
If you live, let me tell you something. If I'm in Africa, I'm more likely to be killed by Africans.
Okay, so Aki, what's the disagreement? What is your disagreement?
We don't got to get back on all that. He's already said he disagreed. I'm just saying if he has a statistic that refutes what I'm saying, then tell him to pull it up. I don't mind being proven wrong.
Alaska is the most dangerous state in the country.
We're not talking about what's the most dangerous state. I can agree with you about that. Again, I want to focus on the disagreement.
But to add to the conversation, you got boroughs and ghettos that were created to put black people
Again, we
in
agree on all of
situations where
that.
they're going to be
We
more
on all
likely
of
to
that.
kill
What
each
do y'all
other.
want me to pull
I
up?
don't want to
What,
talk about the reasons why
Aki,
black people are more dangerous than
what
white
do you
folks.
want me to pull up right now? Let's stop this. What do you
Again,
want me to
I agree
pull up?
with Aki and T Reason is saying
Listen,
about
hold
Alaska
up,
and
hold
about
up.
the borough. stuff.
See, the thing about it is, I hate that this sounds like attacking black people. I don't like that. But the reason why y'all don't understand anything is because you don't understand the reason why we have this. White supremacy has taken resources out of our neighborhoods. I personally
Nobody
watch
disagrees on the
basketball
panel
courts
about
and
that.
baseball
We're all on
diamonds
the
be
same
taken away
page.
from our
I
neighborhood.
I
We're all
don't.
on the
Nobody on the
same
panel
page.
disagree with that.
We're
We
all
don't
on the same
disagree.
page with you on that. Every time you speak, Aki, I keep saying I'm on the same page with you. I don't get why you're going so hard on things we agree on.
Because it sounds like, I don't know, the way
Two
it
things can
sounds.
be true at the same time. It can, everything you said can be true, and it can still be true statistically that a young person's more
I
likely
think
to
we should be
believe me.
talking about how do we fix this
We
instead
can.
of talking
We
about
want to have.
planning.
If you know, again, make sure when we invite people to the show, tell them they can send in any question they want to have discussed, please, and we can do that, so we don't got to hear that no more. Anybody can send in a question that they want to talk about. We talk about everything. We're not afraid of no. We're not ducking no topics. But what I'm saying is
No
this.
smoke.
Yeah, we're not ducking no smoke on this. I agree with Aki about the stuff he's saying with the Alaska stuff and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is, statistically speaking, I'm more likely to be deleted by a young person as opposed to older person. I'm more likely to be deleted by a black person opposed to somebody of another color. That's the facts.
Okay.
The why is a different conversation. And that's my close.
Fellas. Whew.
Hey, he went longer than a minute, you know.
I can't wait.
He was getting
There's his name.
because
I'm
of
only
Aki,
kidding. I'm only kidding. You gave a good
he was
good
getting
feedback.
cross-examined, so that at times.
I'm not
sometimes
at
it
war
takes
with none of my brothers on here. I'm just saying, like, there's how we feel, and then there's the numbers. I don't want to mix.
But my problem is, why you stating the obvious though? Why is that even a point? If you live in a black area, you're more than likely to be killed by a black person. Just so what? That's a fact. So what? What's the point?
I mean, I would love to answer that. The point was real simple. The question was, who would you rather live next to? Or would you rather your family live next to? And I said, the person who's less likely to harm my family. That was it.
But both of those people were just as likely to harm your family. Both of them were.
No, the difference is I disagree. The black guy's more likely to harm you, but the white guy's more likely to harm you and your family. This is what I'm saying. He doesn't like anybody black.
I don't think that
the black guy specifically had a beef with the guy calling him the N-word. He didn't have a beef with anybody else.
All right, fellas, we're gonna close this out. Go to the next topic. Thanks for your passion and enthusiasm.
Yeah, man, because that last one triggered me, man. Y'all got me triggered right now.
Yeah, we know. We see.
I feel like
trigger. Y'all got to put a trigger warning.
I feel like Miss Jenkins in Mount Tabernacle Zion.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Mute your background. Mute y'all's back.
The back hurt.
Hello, thank you for calling Dreams. Sorry, I didn't find anyone with this name. To speak to someone at the reception desk, say reception or press 0. Or if you know the person you...
How may I help you? Yes, I just want to see if there's any way y'all could help with a small can of baby formula. I've been out since last night, and my daughter, she's not 8 since last night, and she's only 2 months old, and I've been calling everywhere, and they're just telling me to keep calling churches.
Okay, so we have you ever heard of Mom's Pantry?
Yes, I already tried them. They don't have any formula.
Okay, that's our only connection to like our food bank ministry. So if they don't have any baby formula, then we don't have any in our office that we could provide.
Okay, would it be something that you all would be able to get and I just pick it up?
Let me connect you with our care pastor. She handles all of the connections and our resources that we're able to give out.
Thank you.
No, they didn't find the new formula, and she's calling around to see if they can- and none of them are answering the phone.
The person you are trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the tone.
Okay. We're gonna call back.
You can you know, I don't know if you can go any further, you know, with this. I don't know how far would be into it, but so I just want to let the audience know what this is right here. Sorry, a little noise in the background. But so this was right here. This lady's been calling mosques, churches, and she does the same thing. She has a baby crying in the background and recording, and she asked them for assistance. And so she's pretty much going viral right now on TikTok because of the reactions and the amount of churches. I don't know if the mosques have done it, but I know some of the churches have in some ways said no, whether it was no or it was just them not offering assistance. And so that people are going crazy on the comments. So I thought this would be a good topic for us to get into. And so, yeah, you go ahead, Enos. And that was Charlie Kirk's church right there from what she's saying. Enos, we can't hear if you're talking.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that, fellas. What does her experiment prove? What does
Church
it-
ain't shit.
Language. We went over the rules in the beginning, Aki. Language. Please. All right. T reasons.
It proves they don't read the Bible or follow the Bible.
All right. All right. I'm sorry. I was reading some comments. And let's go to Aki.
Remember earlier? Okay, what's the question you want me to answer? Because let me hold
Yeah.
back because I have a lot of opinions about this.
Yeah,
and
but
I'm
you
very
can right
familiar
now
with this
keep it
story.
concise. Less of the
Let them
bit
know,
right
Aki.
now. Right now, what does her experiment prove? You already answered, but can you
It
say
proves
that kids watching?
her experiment proves, just like Marvin Winans or whatever his name is, and all these other mega church leaders and all of them out there talking all this big stuff, talk about prosperity. You want to be rich? Give me $2,000 and you'll be blessed. But then when you call the church and look for that blessing, guess what? It ain't there. You know why? Because I still got some seconds left on my minute. You know why? Because like I said earlier,
Talk
these
that talk.
people are following Paul and not Jesus.
Yeah, before the show ends, you're gonna have to elaborate. I'm gonna have to get Derek and Vulcan
No.
cross-examine you on
No,
that.
no.
All right, so let's
We
get
already had
Derek
the
in.
brother with the gun. Yeah.
Before the show ends. Let's do that. Let's
Um,
so what you think, Derek? What does this experiment prove?
I'm with T Reason that they don't read their Bible.
Mm.
They don't read that none of that looks like a person that's following Christ.
And when you say they, you talk about this for me, the lady that's calling or the church? The people that's responding to her.
The
lady
church.
that's calling, the church don't read about. Okay. And that's what you're saying,
Yeah.
2 reasons, right? Okay. Let's
Yeah.
get
I'm saying I agree with him. He said that they don't read their Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying the church, these churches ain't.
Okay. That experiment
'Cause that would
proves
be
that the church
an
doesn't read
easy
their Bible. Oh. All right. My Vulcan. What does this experiment prove?
So for me, I don't think this experiment improves what people think it proves. Obviously, we already know that nobody's perfect and everybody does their own things and has shortcomings. So part of the reason why I thought this was a good video is because when you read the comments, people are saying that's why I don't go to church, and T Reason says that they're not reading the Bible, and Derek's saying that right there. I didn't take it that way. To me, I see that very similarly as I see when somebody goes to a company, whether it's the company, my company or somebody's company, and then somebody that happens to be associated with me does something crazy and they drag the whole company down because of it. Now, obviously, they can do that because we have the internet and you can drag somebody down. But to think that that one random person is representation of the entire organization, to me, that's a stretch. You know, when you got big time companies like that, you think that they're the ones answering them phones most of the time? How many times removed is the person answering the phone to the person who's actually making the decisions? I guarantee you, if that person would have went up to the church and said, "Hey, look, I need some money for some formula," they would have did it.
You're gonna make me start preaching up in here.
And I definitely want to hear y'all's rebuttal to this. So the thing is, so my point is saying, if she would have went up there to give her formula, anybody who's been to as many churches that I've been to, all across the various cities and in different countries, nobody does more for the community than the church. Historically speaking, and now, nobody has more hospitals, nobody has more orphanages, nobody has more clinics than the church. And in the whole entire world. So when people are attacking the church because of this kind of a thing, I think that one is very short-sighted and very simple-minded, because the reality is nobody, even when things, rental assistance programs is church, people, all kind of things that are going on is church. And so my point is saying that just because you call one place and you do something that they're not doing, what like she said, she clicked the person and hung up on them. She said, "Hey, check this program out right here." We don't know who that lady is. We don't know what her association with the church was. We don't know what, if she's just, some churches just hire people and they pay them an hourly wage. They might not even go to that church. I know for a fact churches do that, because I've been to churches that do that kind of things, and I've been to churches that don't do that. So my point is saying, I think we're overblowing this whole thing. And you don't know if they discern that that was some kind of scam on some kind of level as well. But that's what I'll close with.
A scam for baby formula? That's a stretch.
It's a little bit of a stretch. I get it to you.
All right, all right. You wanna? All right. So this one ask people that on the panel that disagree with Vulcan, just stick to a particular point. Keep it concise. Stick to a point that you disagree. One of Vulcan's points. Let's stick to that. Let's start with T Reasons.
Well, first off, he said company.
Let's stick to that.
He was comparing the church to a company. The church is not a company. They don't pay taxes, so you can't. They don't operate in the same realm as a profitability and profit margins and a panel of CEOs and the board of committee and all of that stuff. They follow biblical principles and they do what Christ says to do. So when they're calling on the phone and they hear a baby crying in the background, it tells me not only does the church not follow the word of God, she herself does not follow the word of God, because she lacked conviction in that moment to offer some branch of help. I would have went in my own pocket if I was on the receiving end of that phone call. I would have said, "Hold on, let me get back to you. We have a congregation here. We're taking a collection every Sunday. Let me see what we can do for this lady to help this lady who has a child."
Well, let me ask you this. I want to ask you some T Reasons. So are you indicting the church, or are you indicting the person?
The church, because she is a representative of the church. She is the one that's answering the phone. She should not be answering the phone.
All right. We got your point. Now, Vulcan, I'm going to go around the room. You just let me know, because, I mean, it's 3 against 1. If you want to address them individually, or you want them to all give their points.
That boy flexing on us, man. Hold up.
You want them all to give their points and you respond. Just feel free to however you want to do it. If you can remember.
I want to hear my brothers out on this. I want to hear them loud and clear.
All right, now it's your turn, Aki.
First of all, y'all didn't do enough research, because she actually did find a church. It was a synagogue that told her, "Hey, you know what? We don't have any formula right here, but we will go get it for you." You didn't do enough deep dives into that.
Amen.
Second of all, as a tither that was tithing my whole life, the one time when I actually needed some help from a church that I've been tithing to my whole adulthood, I said, "You know what? I can't pay my rent. I really need help with my rent." You know what they told me? They said, "Well, we'll help you as long as you got 70% of your rent. Then we'll help you with the other 30%. I'm like, excuse me, I don't have nothing right now. What are you talking about? So guess what? You can tie to these churches just like Marvin Winans and all these people, mega churches and all that. Where is the lunch line at for the people in the neighborhood to come and get a lunch? Where is that at?
All right, I'm gonna wheel you back into the topic.
Hold on.
Come back.
You have to look for a church like you look for a nightclub or a barber. Okay? You can choose to go to a prosperity church if you want to, or you can choose to go. Now, there's a church around the corner from here called New World Ministries, and I know this church does the right thing. When I do go to church, that's where I go because I see what they do in the community. I see what they do with the work. The pastor and his son is the tag team. They do great things. But I will tell you this, the majority of these churches out here, the majority are not standing up to Jesus's word. Most of them are working in secular ways to take money from their own parishioners and give them nothing in return.
All right.
I do happen to agree with Aki's last point on that.
Okay. All right. Aki, my man, a lot of passion. I turn red in your face. I see it. This is personal. I see this. All right, let me
Y'all got your boy amped up, man. He finna start preaching. Y'all keep it up.
Aki,
Y'all want to be blessed.
It's fogging up.
Y'all want to be blessed. Give me $2,000 and you'll be blessed in the name of Jesus.
My God.
What that one pastor said, this is not what I told you to do.
Oh yeah, standing in line.
I'm gonna bring back the other $800. That's not
y'all wasn't listening.
And then they play some messed up music when she was leaving with her grandson. That would have never been me. If I was the grandson, I would have been kicking the pastor, snatching my grandma's check, and telling her, "Let's go."
Well, let me say this real quick. I know Derek's getting ready to go, but I want to say this, and this I'm going to just echo what I said earlier. My issue with a lot of this, obviously with the internet, we can see all the negative things. Those of us who've been in business, been in sales, we understand, statistically speaking, again, getting into numbers, getting into things that we can quantify, that people are more likely to remember negative experiences, and they're also more likely to go online and report negative experiences. Anybody that's dealt, so we know that as well. So we're going to see a lot more negativity. So it's not an accurate reflection of how often it's actually happening in the world. That's my point. We know it is happening, to Aki's point. But my point is saying it's not happening as much as we see, because if something's going well, people doing what they're supposed to do, ain't nobody pulling out their phones.
Dude, why she had to call so many churches then?
No, the whole thing, she was doing an experiment, so she didn't have to, because remember, there was no real baby. She was doing an experiment.
Right.
And the thing is, I did do the research. I already knew she called synagogues, mosques. I said that in the beginning. She called a bunch of them. Everybody didn't tell her no. She even tells you how many people said no, how many people said yes, and she broke it all the way down. But my point is saying this right here. An organization, 501(c)(3) or other, is not obligated to say yes to everybody. That's what people fail to realize.
No. I'm gonna stop you right there because you're wrong. Because you're talking about people who are supposed to be Christians and doing right by Jesus's word. This don't have nothing to do with 503c. This don't have nothing to do with nothing of what you're talking about. This has to do with following Jesus's word. And Jesus' word said, "Give to the poor." He said, he told the farmers, when you go out there and pick your yard, whatever's left, you leave for the poor. That's what he said.
Let me say this: you don't know if that lady that picked up the phone was a Christian. You don't know if that lady that picked up the phone was a Christian. I already said earlier that churches hire people. You can go on ZipRecruiter and Indeed right now, and you'll see churches that have listings for positions. You don't have to be Christian to get that position. So again, I'm not disagreeing with what you said, Aki. I'm saying it may not apply. You're assuming what you said applies there. And I yield the floor to you.
Let me tell you something. If a person takes a job at a church as a secretary to sit up there and answer the phone at the church, I'm quite sure that the pastor or whoever did some sort of low bottom level interview with this person so they don't just walk all over to find that they got some damn secular person that's in here that don't believe in what the Lord is doing.
I can tell you firsthand experience, people that are atheists and work in churches. And some
atheists are very nice people. Atheists are more Christ-like than a lot of these Christians out here.
Starting to seem like it.
All right, so let me get.
Can I jump in real quick? I think a lot of it has to go back to branding. I think
Derek, we want to stay in order. We didn't get Derek to respond at all.
Okay.
My guy, Derek, talk to us. You said you agree with T. Reasons in the beginning. They're not reading their Bible. These guys, the church is not reading their Bible.
I think the indictment though should be on the person answering the phone in the church. I don't think you can.
That's what
blame it all on the church, because I'm trying to put me in that situation. I'm thinking, I know how I am within my company, but there might be another rep that doesn't operate like me at all, and you can't blame the company on that individual. So if I am a person answering the phones for a church, well, that is a subjective observation of you, brother. But a matter of fact, check this
Y'all
out.
keep
To your
negating
point with the
Jesus
tithing.
Christ out of this situation. Y'all keep negating Jesus Christ from the situation. Y'all act like Jesus is not involved in this at all.
Let me get this one. I need to get this one.
Aki, hold on. T-Reason, Aki, y'all both spoke. Y'all both spoke already. Derek is still giving his explanation. Please be respectful. Let Derek finish his point, and y'all can cross-examine him. Now go ahead, Derek. Finish your point, please. Aki, just hold your comments until Derek is done, unless he has a question. Go ahead,
So
Derek.
yeah, so I think the indictment should be on answering the phone. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
Can I get this one?
Aki,
what?
Let me get this one.
Hold on, Enos.
I didn't say anything. What?
Aki.
Oh, no.
I wrote a book on your situation, bro. That what happened with you with the church? I literally wrote it.
Did you read the book that you wrote?
I don't even think you know what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, that sounded like a personal attack. My bad.
It wasn't personal. It was dumb. If I wrote the book, I absolutely know what it said.
All right. So remember why we started this. All y'all disagree with Vulcan. Vulcan got to get a chance to respond to all three of y'all. Now, if you want something else to say, T-Reason, please keep it concise. Remember, Vulcan hasn't responded yet. Keep it, please, concise. 30 seconds.
All right. So the person answering the phone should have been prepped by the church on how to properly handle that situation. They shouldn't even have been answering the phone if they weren't going to answer it from a biblical Christ-like standpoint or something that represents the branding of the church.
Okay. All right. Before Vulcan responds, let's get these comments in. Help the Bear said she was full of it. God told them so. All right. All right. Vulcan, you got the floor.
So again, I love the passion. And again, you notice I want the audience to hear in the panel, whenever Aki or T-Reason or Derek Smith I agree with, I say I agree with it because for me, I don't look at this as a back and forth between y'all. I want the ideas to get better. I want to build upon each other's ideas and maybe have something better than what we started out with. So when they say a point that's right, it's right. I appreciate Derek saying that at the end of the day, none of us would like to be blamed for what somebody else did. So again, I know for sure that some of these people on here have businesses. They understand. They've been to black-owned businesses and seen things go bad and had to talk to, hey, look, your waiter's doing this. We told the owner what was going on. We knew that he wasn't the one that did it. We knew that that may not be a reflection of the culture of the restaurant, and maybe it is. So what I'm saying is that's why I gave it information. You can go on ZipRecruiter and Indeed, and you can find churches that are hiring people, and it's illegal to hire them. You know, it's saying that you can't work here because of your religion and stuff like that. So again, we got to be honest about this whole thing. Well, she's talking to one person. When I was growing up, my mom used to say, she's like, call and make your dental appointment. And I would go there and they'd be like, well, we kind of booked up. And I hang up. She'd be like, did you schedule it? I'm like, no. She was like, you got some random person on the internet right now speaking for an entire organization. You hung up the phone because they didn't say what you thought they should say. Call them back and schedule that appointment. And I'll call back and I would ask better questions. And then I would get my appointment scheduled. She taught me you don't go by the person on the phone because that's the lowest person typically on the totem pole that knows the least about what's going on.
But you're comparing corporations to an individual church.
Oh, you got to address that one,
I'm not comparing corporations to a church. I'm comparing how organizations work, church or otherwise.
They fell even by the comparison to a major corporation.
Sorry, say that again, please.
I said they fell even by a comparison to a major corporation because when you call in, if you get bad customer service, you're going to take that up with the entire company. You're not going to say, oh, well, I just got a bad rep on the phone. That person on the phone is a representation of the company you just called into. So that person can still give you a negative viewpoint on the entire company. And this is why companies hire people and they go through a rigorous training process to make sure that the customer service is to the level and standard that their company, their branding wants to put out. So even by that standard, they fail.
Now, T-Reason, you and I are the same age. You know doggone well these companies, they put people through a rigorous training program for customer service jobs. That's unrealistic.
They do. They have 4 weeks. They have 4 weeks of training. They have several weeks of training that they go through before they hit the phones.
So I just want to know: is the panel
they have core values and core curriculum that they teach them?
4 weeks of training to get paid $10, $15 an hour? Are we really going to stand on this platform and say that and maintain that?
Yeah, they're still responsible for the level of customer service that they're putting out.
Not responsible. I'm saying that they're going through 4 weeks of customer service to get
some yes, some no.
Some yes, some no. I'm saying, how common do you think that is?
Fairly common. I think it's
okay. What percentage out of 100% of jobs that have customer service people? What
probably about half. Probably about half.
It's getting 4 weeks of training.
My mama got something to say.
Maybe not 4 weeks of training, but they have some level of training of a standard of what they have to meet.
Yeah, some level we're on the same page. When you said 4 weeks, that's an entire month. We don't have that. We can't.
2 weeks, 4 weeks. They got some training period. They have a training period that they have to go through, rigorous training, and then even further training as they're on the job. Updates and this is how we're going to be responding.
Are terrible, and people still are terrible in any organization. You go to AT&T, go to any organization and/or church, and you're going to see bad reviews because
we don't give the company the benefit of the doubt. We leave a bad review on the company.
Sometimes I know, as far as having a 501(c) with Black business owners and stuff like that, and being experienced and traveling to different businesses every other week or every week, we gave a lot of passes out, and I know Aki knows that we gave a lot of passes out.
Vulcan. A church should never have a bad review. That's the point you're missing.
Okay, again, if that's the standard, then it'll never measure up.
Never have a bad review.
Paul and not the Most High. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, if a church has to have a perfect record with everybody, then they might as well
being Christ-like is not hard.
Christ-like,
it's not difficult. People choose not to do it. They make a choice. It's conscious not to do it. Being Christ-like is easy. That's why I made the point to you earlier that a lot of these atheists are more Christ-like than these Christians because
people make mistakes.
Atheists that are out here believe that
okay, what are you getting that from?
Person is enough.
It's impossible for anybody to be perfect. People are not without flaw. But my thing is there should be some sort of a positive outcome by her calling into these churches. They should have something in place when you have somebody reaching out for help. The church should be the first place you could call to get help, assistance, or point in the right direction.
I'm 100% with you as long as we're not saying they have to 100% say yes.
I don't think they have to 100% say yes. But I don't think that any of the ones that were in that video handled it correctly. I think they all, except for the one that had a program or something like that, gave her an option. The ones that just flat out told her no, I think that they need to go back and read their Bible and they need to be in the Word a little bit more. And I think the person answering the phone should have had some level of conviction to say, let me figure out what I can do to help this person. If I got to help this person or the church has to help this person, we have to have some channel or something for some situation like this. And the fact they didn't makes me look differently on the entire church because they should have already told the person answering the phone, this is what we do.
Thank you.
I just say this. Nobody that knows you and you associate with better not do nothing wrong or you going down for it.
That's not the same as the representative of the church.
And then bring some comments that help the bear say, I don't go anywhere that doesn't have at least a couple of bad reviews. Shout out to my guy, Help the Bear. All right. So we covered this topic pretty well. I like the dialogue. Let's start off with the closing statements. T reasons you up. Keep it concise. Less than what should I give you 2 minutes?
I think the person answering the phone should be a representative of the branding of the church. So the branding of the church is being represented by that person not giving any help. And I think they should always have some type of outlook when people call out and say, this is my situation. If you hear a baby crying in the back, you should have some level of conviction, something. The Holy Spirit should come over you or something to extend the olive branch to her. And that's my closing statement.
Thank you, T. That was amazing. I love that what you just said. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
So he's saying your closing statements, or you got something for the audience you want to lead the audience with?
No, go to Derek next. I'll be last because I'm gonna whip the runway up down here.
Okay. I don't know who's gonna be last. Second to last. Let's get Derek here. Unless Vulcan, you on the floor for the last. Go ahead, Derek.
I think I agree with T, but I also think that what Vulcan said in the form of he knows for a fact and can show you that these churches are hiring people that are not saved. The fact that that's a fact puts, you got to look at this a little differently when you know that is something that is actually happening.
He's
Everybody
talking
that's
about
answering that
temps.
phone ain't saved.
He's talking
Most of
about temps. He's talking about temps.
it doesn't
Hold on,
matter. Attempts answering the phone. That is a temp job. Matter of fact, I just did this the other day in this apartment. And I was like, who was the guy that I was talking to? Didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Oh, that was a temp. Well, why the hell y'all got him answering the phone? He don't know nothing. So yeah. If the church is hiring people that don't have to be saved and compassionate and know the word and all of that, then we can't hold them to that standard, man.
Yes, you
We
can,
just
because
can't.
the church's job is to make sure that even if you come in not saved, not holy, they're supposed to take you there. What is you talking
They're
about?
supposed to, but the reality is, like Vulcan said, is that they're not.
And
You
that's a
actually, I think
shame.
one of y'all said that the pastor at some point needs to meet with somebody that comes in. I'm like, the pastor ain't meeting with them freaking people answering the phones. They're not
Why
talking
not?
with them at all.
You don't know what size the church is. You talking about a 200 people church or a 5,000 or 10,000 people church. If it's 10,000 parishioners, then you don't know. The pastor's not meeting with them, but somebody is. If there's only 50 members in the church, then hell yeah, the pastor's gonna know who it is.
All right, Derek, finish out your closer, because
Now,
Aki,
I
you
want to
didn't.
say
You
this.
didn't. Hold on, wait, Aki, hold on. You didn't cut in everybody's closing statements. Finish your closing statement, Derek, and Aki, you go next.
No, that was it. He can let him have the floor.
All right, go ahead, Aki. Give us your.
The
Let
point
the
that I'm trying
audience
to
know.
make is that a lot of people out here in the secular world are sitting up here claiming that they're Christians and this and that, and they want to, just like Marvin Winans with his prosperity nonsense and everything like that. Hey, you know what? You want to be rich? Give me $2,000 and you'll be blessed. And then at the same time, if you don't have $2,000, I'm gonna embarrass you, your grandson, your daughter, and everybody in your family up down there because you ain't got the money that I told you to get when you came up down here, and you didn't give me my money back. Okay.
All right.
Then you got listen, anybody who takes a job at a church, when they walk into the church as Vulcan, as you said, when they walk in as a temp or whatever, that they don't have to be saved or whatever, somebody's supposed to go to them and say, guess what? This is what we do here. This is what we expect here. If somebody calls and says that they need us,
you got 20 seconds left.
We're gonna be there for them. Okay.
20 seconds.
And if they're not going to be there for them, then it's up to the church to tell them, to call the temp service and say, you know what, we don't want this person. That person is not a right fit for us because they're not going to do what we want them to do. And thank you, T, for what you said tonight. And I really am happy that you stood up for what's good out here. Thank you.
Right on. I like what your closing statements was too, man. That was spot on. Right on.
All right, before I bring Vulcan here, Help the Bear on this topic said 2 reasons cash at me $100. A bear's got to eat. Help the Bear, and I won't take no for an answer, man.
There's a difference between demanding money and asking for help. He demanded. Nobody help somebody with a demand. The lady was calling for help. That wasn't for help. He was demanding.
No doubt. All right, Vulcan, last words, man. Talk to us on this topic. Talk to us.
So just to draw some of these threads together, Aki and T Reason and Derek are correct. To be Christ-like is to help the people that need the help, to help the poor. You know, we talk about the tithe part, we talk about people, you know, them leaving out things in the harvest and the field, to help so the poor can eat. That was a regular part of Judaism, their practices and stuff like that. In the Bible, you know, Paul, you know, mentioned that he was told to take care of the poor. We're also told the poor we will have with us always. That's also a part of it as well. And so the thing is, the Bible is very concerned with the widows and the fatherless and the impoverished. You know, blessed are the poor. We know that all that stuff. And so that they bring up a good point. That's one side of the coin we got to factor in. The other side of it is this: just because you have a heart to give and that you will give a cloak off your back doesn't mean you got to say yes to everybody. And the difficulty is, it's going to be difficult for me to judge Aki or T Reason when they say no. I might think they should have said yes. And when they said yes, I might think they should have said no. That's the reality of it. And that's okay. When you go to churches, I remember the Joel Osteen situation happened during the flood and everybody was attacking Lakewood Church. I'm not the biggest fan of Lakewood Church, but the reality is this: we got to be careful whenever we're making judgments that we would want that same judgment on us. That's what Matthew 7, take the log out of your eye so you can see the plank in somebody else's eye. So if you're going to make those claims that they should have did this, we got to look at your life and people you associate with, and do they always, not some of the time, do they always do this thing? Some of us got friends that are gangsters, and we're talking about a church that mostly gives to people in the parishioners in their church, and we just got one video where they didn't give. You walk into any church in this corner, we can do an experiment. We walk into churches and then see they got a place for bread, they got a kitchen in there. They're always doing stuff. People they're sending hospitals and missionaries to other countries. The Catholic Church alone, I'm not even Catholic, has 65% of their clinics and hospitals are in undeveloped countries.
Nobody and they also having sex with young boys and doing all kinds of
that's a different topic. They also have orphanages and all kind of different agencies to help young kids. Historically, that's how the church grew. They would adopt the kids that the other civilizations didn't want. When the Romans or whoever.
Do you even know why the men in the Catholic Church are single and don't have sex? Do you even know why? It had to do with money. It had nothing to do with religion.
Yeah, that's off topic. But yeah, thanks for sharing. Thanks for telling us.
So the thing is that my point is saying this, that when you're attacking the church or taking one person's bad phone call and attacking the entire church, just take the whole picture. That as far as we know on God's green earth here, nobody has done more philanthropy in the world for the last 2,000 years than the church.
Up until when? Because they all stopped.
2025. The Catholic Church stopped.
When this whole prosperity thing started, that's when churches stopped doing things for the community.
I don't like that prosperity stuff any more than you do. So we on the same page about that. But my point is saying this: I'm not even Roman Catholic, and they have 65% of their clinics and hospitals in undeveloped places. So the church and the Protestants are doing too. I've been to plenty of churches that are sending missionaries into bushes with mosquitoes and heat, and their kids are getting malaria and stuff like that, just to be able to give them free medicine and free food. Let's stop playing. Nobody else is doing that. So if you want to attack the person who answered the phone, fine, I'll join you. I think they should have did more as well. But when you talk about the entire church, you give me an organization that's done more in this world, and I'll wait.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something, Vulcan. And you know what? I really respect you a whole lot, but I have to tell you this that you don't understand. Okay? Now let me tell you something. When you go around the world, you talking about colonialism at this point, and how religion goes around the world and colonizes people and switches their religion and takes their language away from them and does all these things and ship them around the world and does all these things in the name of Christianity that comes from Ethiopia.
So
now, when you talk about people doing missionary things and going around the world, yeah, it sounds great. But guess what they're using? They're using that white lens of that Bible to rip everything from you, to turn you into some slave so you can go somewhere else and work.
Well, you want to respond?
Yeah, I just want to respond and say this real quick. And we got to be careful, because what Aki's saying historically is not wrong. That definitely happened. But again, we got to get into the division fallacy and the competition fallacy. What's true of the part isn't true of the whole. Just because that did happen, like every organization has had corruption.
It's still happening today.
Again, we 100% agree on that. But what I'm saying is, if you're in a city that's one of the top 10 biggest cities in the country, which most of us are in, you can go to 1,000 churches, and if you want to be a missionary, they will send you to another country, and we'll see if you're colonizing other people by giving them medicine.
Let me show y'all something real quick. That
everybody hear that? I'm saying you can go to a church around you right now, 1604 CBC, for those people in that city, or you can go anywhere you want, and they'll send you to another country to help people, and then you come back and tell me you were colonizing.
Okay, all right. I had to touch up and look at the fallacy of composition. I forgot about that one, man. And why is up? I might as well. That's a good point.
Okay, I want to tell y'all something. When y'all stop running around with this, put me back on full screen. Put it back on full screen for 1 second.
We got a lessons.
No, hold on.
Lessons go. Oh, hey, keep it
when
concise
you
though. Keep it
graduate
concise.
yourself from the King James to the Sefer, this is when you're gonna know what the Bible is really talking about. Because what y'all reading and what y'all promoting and what you talking about that's going around the world, these are all the books that's missing from the Bible. That y'all sitting up here running around promoting, there's nothing but BS.
Okay.
This is what you need to have. When you start reading this and following this Bible right here, this Bible, and stop playing with me with this King James nonsense where y'all following Paul and doing all this craziness and sitting around talking about churches not having the right to not do things right by the people because they hired some stupid person to answer the phone that doesn't realize that they're working in the church. Y'all are bugging.
All right.
I like what he said right there, because one thing I want to add to that is a church has a higher calling. So when you have a church, that subsedes everything. The church has a higher calling. So when you're calling into a church, you should be met with that to some level. And she called around to various churches, and she wasn't even getting the baseline bare minimum of that higher calling that churches, as you and I, we all know, are supposed to have. And instead, we're comparing it to a company, and even by company standards, they're failing because the customer service representative is not following their core values. So this is why it's like across the board, they fail.
Thank you.
And I just want to say this. We definitely got to add the lost books of the Bible thing to one of our topics for discussion, because I would love to discuss that deeper.
Yeah, Aki, you're welcome to come back. Well, Aki to come back for that. All right, Help the Bear said, thank God for slavery. Aki, I know I now live in the greatest country in the world. Praise him. Shout out to Help the Bear, man.
Man's just tripping, man.
What is he talking about? Man's tripping.
What is he talking about?
All right. So listen. All right. So y'all know I'm going to get to we're still in religion right now. There's a famous rapper. Her name is Gorilla. She was raised in the church. She has some thoughts about Christmas. She says Christmas and Easter are pagan holidays. I'm gonna get y'all thoughts on this video. She was on Shannon Sharp talking. Oh, wrong one. Excuse me.
You never went over that fallacy, but okay, we'll keep it going. It's fine.
Bro, we need to go over that fallacy. We don't need to keep going. You're absolutely right. Sorry about that. Audience. Can you read that for the audience? Can you see?
I'll make it work. So fallacy of composition, that just to give everybody context, I mentioned earlier, but what's true of the part isn't necessarily true of the whole. Typically, the example people will use, if you feel a certain part of the elephant, the trunk, then you might assume that it's a snake. If you feel the leg, you might assume it's a tree. But the parts doesn't necessarily mean that the whole has that characteristic, generally speaking, as a whole. So what it says right here, the fallacy of composition says inferring that something is true of the whole from the fact that it is true of some of the parts of the whole. This is the opposite of the fallacy of division. So again, the point that I was connected to the conversation, I was saying, just because somebody on the phone does something we don't like or does the wrong thing even, doesn't mean that entire organization is in that same vein or that same mindset. So we have to give grace as Christians, as we're quoting the Bible and saying how we should be like Jesus. We got to give benefit of the doubt. We got to understand that people can make mistakes, and everybody's organization has weak links. Everybody's organization has blind spots where they need improvement.
All right.
It's still a strike against them. They still got to take that strike against them.
We got to move on, fellas. We got to move on. All right. Like I said, the next topic is about Christmas. Is Christmas a pagan holiday? Let's share the screen and we'll get y'all thoughts on this. All right. Rapper Gorilla says Christmas and Easter are pagan holidays. Here's the video.
And Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving
we did. Thanksgiving you did. Okay, so no Christmas.
Got some music in the background. All right, so I could just go over the video. Don't want to get hit with the copyright strike and some music in the background. She grew up in the church. I think her mother was a pastor. And she said that she didn't celebrate. She celebrated Thanksgiving and other holidays, but she did not celebrate Christmas and Easter. I want to focus on Christmas. Christmas is coming up. I'm gonna get right into the questions. Is it wrong for Christians to celebrate Christmas? Is it wrong for Christians to celebrate Christmas? Sorry. Let me get my guy T reasons in this.
That's a tough one, man. I would say no, but it's kind of tough. But I would say no.
Okay, you said no. Aki, yes or no?
What's the question again?
Is it wrong for Christians to celebrate Christmas?
I'll say no.
Okay.
I grew up a Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh, you better explain. You're gonna explain.
I still say no.
Okay. All right. So let me. Yeah. So let's get Derek in here.
No.
All right. And Vulcan.
I'm gonna definitely say no on this one.
Okay. All right. So everybody says okay. All right. So let's just keep this concise. Go ahead, T reasons.
I say no because all my life I've always celebrated Christmas. But like when you get into biblical context, it says not to celebrate pagan holidays, and it also speaks out about putting in a Christmas tree in your home. There's Bible verses against that. So it's kind of like
where?
Yeah, it says you're not supposed to cut down a tree and put it in your home and decorate it.
Where?
Yeah.
What?
There's actual scripture that states that.
What?
Can you pull that up? I know what scripture you're doing. You're taking it out of context, but can you just pull it up so we can look at it?
Yeah, just let me know. I can type it in and pull it up on the screen. While he's doing that, let's bring Aki in here.
I think it's okay. See, people get confused a lot when it comes to God and Jesus and what they wanted for us and what they don't want for us. Because I want to say this, that God is so powerful and so knowing and so omnipotent that anything that he puts on this earth for us to have and enjoy, as long as it's not hurting anybody else, it's okay. It's fine. Santa Claus, whatever. It's going to make you a better person. Okay. Santa Claus, you can have it. Now, it's not saying go out here and celebrate on murder. Santa Claus was a murderer, then guess what? It wouldn't be good. But, you know, Santa Claus ain't trying to do nothing but help people be a better person. And whether you agree that he's black or white or with this or that or whatever, he's not a false. See, people try to say that Santa Claus is a false prophet. Nobody worships Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a fictional character. He's not like worshiping a celebrity or worshiping Britney Spears or what. Children are told to be good so that they can get a present from Santa Claus. They're not told to worship Santa Claus. Nobody worships Santa Claus.
Okay. All right. I want to ask T reasons before I go to Derek.
I got that verse.
Is it Jeremiah? Okay. What's the verse?
Yeah, Jeremiah 10, 2-5.
Oh, 2-5. Okay.
Read it.
All right.
Thus says the Lord, do not learn from the ways of nations. A tree from the forest is cut down and worked with an axe by the hand of a craftsman. They decorate it with silver and gold, and they fasten it with a hammer and nail so it cannot move.
So it cannot what?
So it cannot move. You're not supposed to take a tree and put it in your house and decorate it with silver and gold.
I didn't hear that.
I remember that being a part of it too, though. I remember that being a part of it.
That's not what I heard you say.
But it just said, it says, do not learn from the ways of nations. A tree from the forest is cut down and worked with an axe by hand. They decorate it with silver and gold, and they fasten it with a hammer and nail so it cannot move. But I think there's probably more in that verse that says
Derek,
take it into your home.
Hold on for a minute. Derek, do you think it's 3:4? Jeremiah 3, chapter 10?
Yeah. Yeah,
right,
but
let's do that one.
They're not talking about it. That's on my Christmas tree, though. I mean, he said 2:5, so I mean, it covers him. It covers him.
The thing is, and this is really important because people have said this. I was talking with some guys recently, and they brought that verse up. You can't cut down a tree and do this. But the reality, it's saying you can't worship it. That's what the issue. You can. Yeah, it's talking about worshiping it. Yes, and that to Aki's point, you don't worship Santa and you don't worship the tree. You can decorate a tree if you want to and do whatever you want with it as long as you don't worship it. That's paganism.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Because it says here they cut down a tree and a craftsman carves an idol. And so they're worshiping by decking the halls in gold and silver on this idol, and that's a problem. The tree itself is not an idol unless you're worshiping.
You know what? You know what? If you want to sit here and talk about things all day that's contradictory in the Bible,
It's
and
a
talk
few
about
of them.
this and that and everything and up and down and left and right,
I
God
don't think
killed everybody on the planet when he had Noah's Ark.
I don't think there's any
Everybody.
All right. So I was trying to find it. Hey, Derek, if you don't mind, send me the website we use to pull up the Bible scriptures you're reading off of. So go ahead, Derek. You can answer, and then we're gonna get Vulcan into it because I can't pull it up for some
What am I
reason.
answering?
Is it wrong for Christians to celebrate Christmas?
No.
No, it's not. It's not wrong. I mean, like you
Okay.
said, the worshiping of it is what the problem is.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You already answered that. That's my bad. You were supposed to explain why. Did you do that already? Because I was looking up some stuff.
Well, I mean, the
Explain.
long and short of it is the reason that a Christian can do it is you can put a tree in your house and you can do games with your kids. You can do all kind of stuff. The moment you start practicing some of these old ways or whatever, and you start worshiping something, that's when I would say, no, Christians can't be no part of that. But
Okay,
just
that's fine.
putting ornaments on a tree and having fun and
You
doing
can
the
have
holiday.
Christmas without a tree.
Well, yeah. But we're talking about, with it though. But yeah, you can have. Most of us that grew up poor didn't have one.
Most people that I knew that was poor definitely had a tree. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
We
All right.
did.
So people
More
have different
people had
experiences.
trees.
That's anecdotal. Different. All right. So let me Vulcan, you said, I know T Reeves had the scripture. You said that was taken out of context, but whatever, explain your reasons why.
Yeah. So again, I mean, when it comes to the Christmas verse that's used often, the tree verse that's used often, that has to do with carving it into an idol to worship it. And I'm with T Reason, you shouldn't be doing that. But that's a far cry from what you see happening in normal homes when it comes to the Christmas tree. People are just decorating it; they don't worship it. It's just there to symbolize the spirit of the holiday that's going on, and it makes people happy, and that's a
My
good thing.
kids are good. My kids behaved this year. They got straight A's, so I'm gonna give this fictional character.
Well, I want to address the fictional character part. So Santa Claus is based off a historical person, Saint Nick.
Black.
Yeah, and Saint Nick, and some people believe that he was black. And the thing is, Saint Nick was somebody who stood for truth by basically slapping somebody for false doctrine during the Council of Nicaea, I believe. Having to do with whether or not about Jesus's deity. So he's a historical figure, very important figure in history, because at that time in church history, it was they were battling about the deity of Christ, whether he was the same substance of God and things of that nature, and what the nature of that was. And so he stood for truth and made it to where that he maintained the doctrine that Christians hold to today, the Orthodox doctrine about the deity of Christ. So I wanted to address that part. And then we got to be careful, because whenever T Reason was asked, is wrong for Christians to celebrate Christmas? His answer was his life. He said, it's not wrong because I've been doing it my whole life. And if that's a reason why he's given, that's an anecdotal fallacy. You can't base something being false or true based off what you do. You gotta appeal to something outside of yourself. And I love what T Reason is doing. He's going to the scripture, so that's a good way to do it. So you can use the scripture, you can use logic, you can use math, you can use science. It's some type of way of developing your point, but you can't just base it off your subjective opinion, because then I'm gonna say that y'all can't, y'all gotta give me all your money in the bank because that's what everybody does with me. You know what I'm saying? And then where do we go from there? So I wanted to address that part. The last thing I want to say about this topic is people are getting confused thinking that Christmas has pagan origins. And if they mean by it that there was different pagan behaviors that were incorporated into what early Christians were doing, then there's some truth in that. But that doesn't mean the Christians were worshiping those idols. So if somebody, like this happened, I don't think we're going to cover this today. Yeah, we're not going to cover this today. But there was a video where Cam Newton was sitting down with a brother, and he put up a certain symbol, and the brother goes, that's a satanic symbol. I can't put that up. But it was also a sign language for love. And so who wins? Is it a pagan symbol or is it a sign language for love? It gets silly. It gets silly. And what that's called a genetic fallacy. When you disqualify something based off its origin and not taking in context its meaning at the time, you're not being reasonable. You're not being logical. So Christmas, as people celebrate it today, you can celebrate in a pagan way. If you're worshiping money, that's pagan. If you're worshiping a tree, that's pagan. If you're worshiping Santa Claus, that's pagan. That's wrong. But if you're doing it, taking that as a time to give thanks for the reason for the season, if you're doing it to spend time with family and spread joy, then that's a wholesome thing to do. And there's nothing in the scripture that says that you can't celebrate a holiday that had a pagan origin. The question is, are you celebrating it in a pagan way? Which means you're worshiping an idol. If you're not worshiping an idol, then you're just fine, according to the Bible.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, and this we're gonna close this out. So go ahead and do your close statement. If you have a question,
Okay.
go ahead.
So my question is, do you think that there could be micro forms of worship throughout that season? You know, with the tree and the gifts and certain things, certain activities. Do you think that there could be people, children, adults, anybody in the household that made like the tree so much that they might borderline cross into a form of worship?
Well,
do you think that's possible?
This is the difficulty with your question because it's very vague. You're saying could they borderline? Did they do it or did they not? You said
like a micro worship. Do you believe there could be a form of?
Can you give an example of a micro worship and a regular worship?
Yeah, like someone pass it like a child. Whenever they see the Christmas tree, they stand in front of the Christmas tree and they're just like so overjoyed that the tree is there, and they're just so like engulfed in the fact that there's a beautiful Christmas tree in the middle of their room. I'm just saying, like,
how is that worship?
Because they're exalting the tree. They're like excited that the tree is there, and they're kind of like uplifting it, and like it's like
a child can't do that. What you're saying, a child cannot do that. They're just infatuated with the tree and the lights and the tinsel.
So you're saying a child can't worship God?
They're not worshiping a tree. A child can't worship anything.
So they can't worship God.
Anybody who's under the age of 7 does not have the ability to worship anything.
So that's the cutoff at 7 years old?
Well, that's what psychologists say, that you're fully formed as a person. So
if I'm 9 years old and I'm standing in front of the tree and I'm blown away, and my whole aura is, it would not be Christmas without this Christmas tree.
Guess what?
You have to have this tree.
Guess what? You're surrounded by a bunch of people that nobody cracked your reality by then, because by the time
I'm just saying, can it happen and can people do it? Is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, can it happen and can people do it? And can there be forms of like worship, micro worship, or whatever you want to call it?
The tree just stands there. How could you worship something that's just standing there? It's not doing nothing. It's not talking to you. All you're doing is wishing and hoping and praying. That's all you're doing.
And don't fall down.
There's tons of examples in the Bible.
Yeah, I just want to say this really quick. And Aki said it just a moment ago. There is no micro worship or macro worship. It's worship, and then there's non-worship. That's it.
But what I'm saying is like the difference between like full blown, like just bowing down and like a long 10-hour, 3-day ritual versus like 5 minutes of worship. Or
listen, when you look at a Christmas tree as a child, you're just seeing something that's lit up and nice and pretty that you and your family took the time to put together, and you're just in awe of the beauty that you all created when the lights get turned off at night, and you're sitting up there looking at it with the train going around the bottom and maybe some presents down there. You're just in awe.
That's not my point. We all know, but that's not my question, and that's not my point.
We're doing closing statements on this. So
my bad.
Yeah. So that. All right. So y'all expressed a lot. Let's get Derek in with his closing statements on this topic.
I yield the floor.
All right. All right. Woosah. All right, so my guy Vulcan, close statements you want to leave the audience with.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you're the last one. They said
okay. So yeah, so for me, it's the closing statement is just this: I admire T. Reason's zeal to make sure that people aren't doing pagan worship when it comes to holidays or any aspect of life. But I want to just remind people that it has to be actually worshiping something. Worship has a definition. We can't try to cut a piece off of it and say it's still worship. It's either worship or it's not. That's the law of excluded middle. Either it's true or its negation is true. And so my point is saying that it's worship or it's not. Now, the other part of it is this. When it comes to holidays like Christmas, Halloween, and things of that nature, you are going to hear on the internet, it's pagan, you shouldn't be associated with it. It's pagan, you shouldn't be associated with it. Those are people that are being unreasonable because they can't disassociate its history, which is shaky. I could dispute a lot of that pagan stuff anyway, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just going to say, just granting that it's true, that doesn't mean that its current context now is evil or pagan. You have to look at how each person is doing it to see if they're doing it in a pagan way. People can be doing a pagan thing, and then somebody can see that and do it in a non-pagan way. Somebody can take something that's not pagan and do it in a pagan way. And so you gotta, that's if we're being intellectually honest, that's what can happen. So terms to remember, genetic fallacy, look that up, learn it so you can be more logical. The second thing is in the Bible. You look in Corinthians, it talks about food offered to idols. And it says that people that have knowledge understand that you can eat food that's been offered in the idol's temple. But if somebody having a weak conscience around you, then don't do it because it may cause them to stumble. But it says that we know that any food that you eat from an idol's temple, it goes into your stomach and is expelled out. And we know that those idols are dumb idols anyway. That's the text, what the text says. So some people that can't disassociate the paganism from the behavior that they're going to be doing during Christmas, then yeah, they shouldn't partake because you shouldn't go against your conscience like that. But if you think about it reasonably and think about the scriptures, you realize that as long as you don't partake in a pagan way, you're just fine.
All right, thank you. We definitely covered that well. Appreciate that, fellas. Next topic: Tamar Braxton defends talking to psychics and mediums. Says she is a liberal Christian. Liberal Christian. Let me get your thoughts on this.
Question you because you
What's your background?
Communicate with mediums or psychics, and you know, and you know the things. Why can we not have a connection?
I don't know, but I call myself a liberal Christian.
Tell me what that means.
That just means that it's not anything that I am stuck to. You know what I mean? Like, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe he died for my sins. I don't read the Bible anymore.
Wait a minute.
I feel like the Bible is, I'm just saying it's a guideline. So I don't have to go and, just read the Bible. I go to the Bible for stories. I go to the Bible for, if I want to read the Bible.
Have questioned you because you
All right, first question I have: should Christians who practice psychic consulting be allowed membership in the church? Yes or no? Should Christians who practice psychic consulting be allowed membership in the church? To start with T. Reasons. You muted. You muted.
Do I think so? No, I don't think they should. But biblically,
remember, yes or no, yes or no. Let's move it around.
I would say no. I would say no.
Aki.
Yes.
Yes. Derek.
Yes. Yes.
Vulcan.
No.
Oh man, this is
that's the beauty of I love these topics because we get a diversity of conversation right here.
Yeah, this is different.
And the matchups and the combinations switch up every single time. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I knew these questions were gonna get people thinking. You never know what side everybody was gonna fall on for these topics. So let's go,
T. Reasons, talk to me, man.
Why? I don't think she should be in the church because I don't think that she's practicing what the church is actually about. I think she's there for a different reason. And she's what I call a lukewarm Christian or believer because the Bible clearly states that he doesn't want you lukewarm. He wants you all the way hot. So for her to say she doesn't read the Bible anymore, it's like, well, where are you getting your belief from? Like, what is your guide? How are you able to make sure that what you're practicing is actually what God wants you to do? The Bible is God's word. So I'm just like, that to me, she don't belong in the church because she's gonna probably do more harm than good. She gonna lead more people astray than lead more people closer to God.
Aki.
Oh my God, y'all. Okay, so I have a lot of opinions about this. I actually watched that full interview. I watched the whole thing. This is what people don't understand. God put everything on this earth for us to understand. Every single thing. Jesus and God together as his begotten son put everything on this earth for us to understand. Now, when it goes to psychics and this and that, I had somebody tell me the other day because they said, "Oh, Aki, you say you a Scorpio. Well, guess what? In the name of Jesus, I don't like Scorpios and I don't like you because I knew somebody who was a Scorpio and I don't and I don't like them." Okay, let me tell you what happened.
Remember, Aki, explaining why.
Hold on. You have butter pecan ice cream from Breyers that you didn't like, which is the Scorpio. Okay. And then you turned around in life and said that I don't like Ben and Jerry's butter pecan. I don't like HEB butter pecan. I don't like all the people butter pecan because
Shout
you
out to
knew
HEB.
somebody that was that didn't like something. Okay. I've said all that to say this. Stop discounting God's will and what he did for us on this earth. People do not understand that astrology was the first form of time on this planet that he let us be able to figure out by looking at the stars. And people said, you know what? You were conceived in February. And guess what? When it was hot as hell outside, that's when your ass was born. I'm sorry, in November. I'm sorry, February, that's November. I'm a Scorpio, so I know I was conceived in February, not, whatever. The point I'm trying to make is that as
10 seconds.
This point, they keep missing this point.
10
as
seconds.
long as what you're doing is not hurting nobody, you're doing right by the Lord, period.
Okay.
And so the reason why we have clocks today that show tick tock, tick tock, tick tock is because people on ships saw and made time out of astrology back at that time.
My guy. All right. Thank you, Aki, for that. All right. Hey, for the audience that's listening, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe, man. And let's bring Derek Bang in. Talk to me, man.
Well, I mean, you got people cheating on their spouses that are members in churches. You got people that believe and operate and worship and take the identity of horoscopes, and they're in churches. You've got all types of Christians doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and they're members in a church. So I don't agree with the mediums and the psychics and all of that. But as far as a membership in the church, I don't see how it's any.
So wait, so you don't agree with doctors either?
Wait, Aki, you remember?
None of that?
Wait. Make sure. I want to make sure Derek is finished with his statement. You had your time to speak. Hold on. Just write it down or write it in your head. Finish it up, Derek.
So yeah. So I don't think it's any different than any other sin that Christians are doing. Now the guy that's cheating on his wife obviously ain't gonna tell the church that, so he's gonna be lying about it. But the median, if that's something that she comes in to the church saying, "Hey, this is who I am, and I'm gonna teach it, and I'm gonna talk about it to people," yeah, we're not letting you in that case. But if this is a person that just believes in the spirits and that, and she's gonna join a church, how would they know?
All right, again for the panel, you will get a chance to cross-examine each other, and this is why I like doing the show for the audience. You can see.
Wait, hold on. You know what? This is what I'm tired of, Derek. You know good and doggone well in the Bible that a lot of people had hundreds of wives. So why are you gonna bring up? Why are you gonna bring up somebody being
right now? It's one wife.
Huh?
It's one wife now. I don't care what
It's
David
one
and
wife
Solomon had.
now. Then how do you think the earth got populated when Noah? Wait, when Adam and Eve was the first two people, and they did that whole begat system. Unless they were
Hold on,
sleeping with each other and do listen, make it make sense.
Aki,
Make it make
you got to
sense,
you got to
Eric. I'm
come.
gonna give you
This
some
is
time.
you talk about a different topic. You got to come back because you got a lot of opinions and thoughts about the Bible, man. You got to come back. Let's bring back. I mean, Derek, you want to go ahead and answer that before we go to
Please let
Vulcan?
him answer it.
Do you want to answer that?
All right. Well, when the first flood happened, or when the flood happened, it was Noah, his sons, and their wives. So everything from Noah coming forward came from his sons and their wives. So it wasn't a bunch of brothers and sisters creating babies and having kids. It was Noah's sons and their wives.
All right, Derek's gonna have the
That's
last
where
word
it
on that
all.
topic. All right, there you got the last word on that topic. We're gonna.
Wait, whoa, why the face? It's a fact.
All right. Y'all
God,
want? I guess
I
you
want to know why the
you choosing what you want to have as a subject matter when it comes to monogamy, when everybody was doing everybody back at that time. Everybody was doing everybody.
That's why they did.
To. And that's what the
That's why they
Mormons
did.
that's what the Mormons are standing on today, right now. You go to Utah and you look over there, you know how they have all those shows, Sister Wives and all those things. There's guys over there, they have hundreds of wives and thousands of children.
And wait till they stand in front of the creator of the universe and try to explain it.
All right, fellas, we have to. We fellas,
Aki, they are doing what they thought they were being told from the Bible, Derek.
For the third time, Aki, we have an agenda. Derek, Aki, we have an agenda. Let's stick to the program. By God, before I go to,
I'm tipsy now.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so before we go to Vulcan, man, shout out to Help the Bear, T. Reason's favorite commenter. She sounds like the people usually. It sounds like she usually women that say, "God knows my heart," or the people that say, "I have my own relationship with God." How many of y'all hear that often? All right, my guy Vulcan, talk to me, man.
All right, so talk to you. What you want me to talk about?
I want you to explain why that the question was, should Christians practice consulting be allowed in membership in the church? You said no.
Yeah, so
explain
the reason why I know, we got to make a distinction between here. That's what it says, membership. So can somebody walk into a church that does whatever they do? Of course. Can they be accepted as a member of the church, whether there's a literal membership or a figurative membership? The answer would be no. Because
you sound crazy as hell, because guess what? The people, the operative word that you're missing is Christian. How are you negating the word Christian?
I love the question. If you don't mind, pull up 1 Corinthians chapter 5.
I don't want to pull up nothing. I'm tired.
No, I'm talking about,
it's all to me.
Y'all are getting on my nerves. You're talking crazy. Y'all are acting like y'all Christians, but y'all not. You trying to gaslight me. I'm ready to smoke some cigarettes and watch this show back. That's what I want to do.
All right, appreciate watching the feedback. All right, so what's the scripture you want to go over?
1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 13.
1 Corinthians.
Paul's chapters. These are all Paul's words. Corinthians. It's all Paul down there.
Oh man, I gotta be. I first put it in 1 Corinthians what?
1 Corinthians 5, verse 13.
All right, 5, verse 13. All right. While I'm pulling that up, go ahead and say what you need.
Yeah, so I guess I'll continue while you're pulling it up.
Yes,
so
sir.
The thing about the membership point of it, anybody can walk into a church if they want to, but if somebody's going to identify to the people as a Christian, there is a greater stipulation. It's more specific, more rigid. There's more requirements according to the Bible specifically. And the thing is that we have to acknowledge that that's what it says. That's the reality of it. And so I'm pulling up this verse so we can look at it, because when it comes to people being in the membership of the church, it's very clear what it says right here. So either you are going to do what it says or you're not. And my point is saying that if we do what it says, then we got to acknowledge the fact that they would not be allowed membership if they are doing that, because the Bible strictly forbids the practicing of it. Now, this
1 Corinthians 5:13, read it.
Yeah, we're waiting. He's pulling it up.
I have it right here. I can read it for you. It
No,
starts
sir, you
off
don't have
with
to do that.
Apostle Paul.
It's because I can't make this no bigger.
That's fine.
All right.
Just so we can get to it. So, because we only have this verse right here, I should have told you to pull up the whole chapter and to 1:13. So I don't be able to do that. But there we go. Yeah, we got. So we're not going to go through the whole. We're not going to go through the whole chapter. But okay, I'll wait till you. Okay, you.
Is it? Damn, why it just stopped at 12?
I have it right here, y'all. I can read it to you right now.
Hold on, Aki, we got it. Hold on, Aki, we got this. Just hold on for a minute.
No, it's on there. It's on there.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
okay. We're good now. Yeah, I see it now.
So real quickly, what this verse is saying right now is it's saying that people who are practicing, not that they did something, they're practicing a certain behavior. So I'm making a distinction real quick for the audience and the panel can follow me. If somebody were to consult a psychic or some kind of spiritual medium, that does not mean they can't join membership. If somebody were to practice doing it, then they would have to be expelled. If you look at the last verse right there, it says, well, I'm going to read verse 12. It says, what business is it of mine to judge outside the church? Meaning people in the church don't judge people outside the church. They're not supposed to. Are you not to judge those inside? So the people in the church judge people that are inside the church. And it says God will judge those outside the church.
Who's saying this? Who's saying it?
It's Paul. We said that already. Okay, hold on.
Stop listening to Paul.
I like that question. I'm going to definitely get to that. So it says right here, God will judge those outside. Then it says, expel the wicked person from among you. And if you go further up in the chapter,
I'm going to mute myself.
Yeah. But what it says earlier in the chapter, it says that a little leaven leavens the whole lump. So when somebody's identifying as a Christian or walking around identifying as a Christian, then the church that they're attending, the Christians that are attending, are required to kick somebody out if they are in unrepentant sin. That's just the reality of it.
But you're not reading Jesus' words.
Hold on, Aki.
After I get done with this, let's get to that. You've been saying it the whole show. I want to make sure we cover it because you bring up some really good points. But I just want the audience to understand from my point why I'm saying
background.
Yeah, somebody's got a dog going on. So the reason
mute your background, y'all. Everybody mute your background except Vulcan.
Yeah, so the thing is, so what I'm saying is right here. By what the Bible says, not my opinion, not what my preference or whatever the case may be. It says that if somebody's in habitual sin, then they are to be expelled or excommunicated. Is to get the leaven, because it says the little leaven leavens the whole lump. Matter of fact, in that chapter right there, Paul said, you should have already done this. But the fact that you haven't done this speaks to what's going on. And so technically,
I don't want to talk about what Paul said.
And we won't get to that. So it says drunkenness. It names a bunch of different types of sins. And it says that if somebody, is practicing those kind of things, they are to be taken from the church. So that's why I say no.
I don't want to talk about Paul. Period.
Is anybody going to tell Alki that the Bible's written by and inspired by God, not Paul?
Corinthians is what these MAGA Christian evangelical supporters are calling themselves following, is the Apostle Paul. That's why I keep bringing it up over and over, because Jesus would never do these things. Paul said that a woman was nasty when she was on her period. If you sat next to her, she was disgusting. If she had a daughter, the daughter was disgusting. Paul said all kinds of crazy ass shit.
Oh, language. Aki, what is your disagreement? Aki, again, I'm gonna have to mute you.
The black ones, the white.
Aki, I can't have.
Hey, I'm just glad it's not me this time that's getting muted up.
Look, I'm just asking Aki, what is your disagreement? Because you said some things when Vulcan was talking. What is your disagreement? I just want to stick to one thing. What is the one thing you disagree with Vulcan about? That's it. That's all we want to keep it concise, please.
I am upset that everybody keeps all the evangelical Christians and all of these MAGA supporters and all of these people now apparently Vulcan, which I'm disappointed in, is sitting up here talking about the gospel of the Apostle Paul.
Okay,
He
so
was
you
a
don't like.
horrible individual. He was a terrible person.
Oh,
He
you
said
said that already. Okay, we got that point about what Paul did. We got that. You're not saying anything
Paul
new.
would agree. Paul said he's the least among the people, but brethren. So, you know, to Aki's point, he's right. Saul was a very horrible man.
And that's what these people follow. They're not following the words of Jesus. They are secular people taking money, using the words of Paul to do what they do.
The words of Paul are the words of Jesus.
Yes. Yes.
No,
Paul,
you just
that's why
agreed.
when you brought up 1 Corinthians 5:13, the first thing I knew to jump to my brain was, here come Paul. And guess what? That's exactly what it says right here. In the passage, the Apostle Paul is addressing the church in Corinth about how to handle serious
All right, we get off topic, my guy. We get
within
off
that
topic.
community.
All right, we get off topic. All right, so
Not off topic. Y'all need to stop doing this.
The topic is we're talking about psychics and you know, is it okay for them to have memberships in
but you the one who
church?
brought up Corinthians 5:13. I didn't bring that up. You did.
Yeah, but this is why I'm gonna ask you. We about to go to the next topic. Go ahead and give your closing statements. Why?
Keep losing with me. Y'all know y'all gonna lose when it comes to me over and over and over again. Because guess what? I know more than all of y'all combined and put together.
Yeah, you're gonna come back for all of that.
You are on crack. That's just
I used to be. Let's keep that 1,000.
I read the Bible from cover to cover.
Fellas, you remember? Hey, hello.
So,
there. Remember,
I mean,
no personal jabs. No
I
personal.
want all that
jabs.
wisdom. I can give you wisdom, and I'll
All
take
right,
it.
pass it.
And that's
no
why I
personal
know
jabs.
better. Because I was on
know
crack.
what?
That's why I know better.
If you knew better, you do better.
All right.
And I've done better.
No
That's why I
closing
know
statement.
better.
We're just gonna go to the next topic. We're gonna go to the next topic. Hey, and for the audience, this is we do focus on race, religion, because this is
I'm not afraid
the topics
to
that get a
expose
lot
my
of emotions
past,
out of
because
people,
I've
man.
been
That's
through
good.
shit, and
It
that's why I
shows
know more than y'all.
Yeah, you said that
You
already.
don't know
So,
what
yeah.
we know, though. You have to see what we know first before you can make a statement like that.
All right, I'm about to mute everybody. All right. Let's just get to the last topic. All right. Everybody is muted right now. All right, Woosah, everybody take time. All right. So anyway, like I said to the audience, that's what we do. We celebrate diversity of thought. And this is a good example. Some laugh and some might be offended, but hey, man, this is real. This is how it is on the streets. We're bringing this onto the platform, and we examine this critically. That is our goal, and that's what we are doing. All right. So the last topic for the night, man. Last topic. This we got here, guys. We here. Last topic. I'm gonna go ahead and start this video. And get y'all thoughts on this. Everybody, well, I muted everybody. Keep your videos muted.
Whole friend over yoga, y'all. Like, she asked me one day, hey, you want to go to yoga with me? And I was like, no, thank you. And she's like, why? And I was like, because I don't practice yoga. And she's like, why not? And I said, because it derives from another God. And she's like, oh my God, it isn't that deep. It's just exercise and stretching. I don't do it to worship another God. I said, well, you do realize that there are over 250 positions in yoga, and some of the names, like, they are calling down spirits when you're in there. The names of these positions, they honor different spirits. Hinduism has 37,000 gods. Wow. 37,000 gods. But the Bible says there's only one. Many will come in my name. I serve a very jealous God. So no, I'm not doing yoga. I lost a whole friend over yoga, y'all. Like, she asked me one day, hey, you want to go to yoga with me? And I was like, no, thank you. And she's like, why? And I was like, because I don't practice yoga. And she's like, why not? And I said, because it derives from another God. And she's like, oh my God, it isn't that deep. It's just exercise and stretching. I don't do it to worship another God. I said, well, you do realize that there are over 250 positions in yoga, and some of the names, like, they are calling down spirits when you're in there. The names of these positions.
You want to take that to the kitchen? You want to take it to the kitchen? I'm a...
All right. All right, fellas, who was right? Her or her friend? Who was right? Her or her friend? T reasons.
From my perspective, I would say her.
All right, Derek.
They're both right.
Ooh, both. But you got to choose, man. One side or not.
Which one you leaning more towards?
If you had to go 51%, which one?
What? No, don't be.
All right, I'll go with the friend, the girl who's doing it.
Mm. Okay, so that was her friend. All right, so let me know when you're ready, Aki. I know you was talking in the background, so
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Her or her friend?
I think that her friend is right.
All right, her friend. Let's get Vulcan here. Her or her friend.
So I'm talking about the part about she's saying she doesn't do it because it's worshiping other gods. She said historical things like how many gods they have, all that stuff can be true, obviously. But the point, as far as that, I'm gonna go with the friend as far as her saying that she can do yoga, and then the friend saying, and she's saying she can't. I think the friend is right in this situation.
That she can do yoga. Man. One thing I can say about TV, he's been consistent when it comes to religious topics. So let me get 2 reasons to explain you why I keep it concise. Last topic, man. Keep it concise. Tell the audience what you want them to know.
She sounds like she's done her homework. She knows, how many different guys there are. She's given valid reasons not to partake, and for her, she feels conviction. She feels as though it's worshiping false gods and false idols. She clearly stated she only worships one God, so she's entitled to the way she feels and how she wants to follow the word of God. She's not basing it on just, oh, I don't want to do yoga. She actually did her homework, and she knows that all of these different poses and all these different positions, and she's looked into the history of it and all of those things, and I think her reasoning is valid. I would feel the same way.
All right, let's get Aki here.
I believe it's like voodoo. Like you have to believe in order for it to be true to you. You know what I mean? It's like these are just moves to stretch your body out and make you more healthy. Like you can either choose to fall into the narrative that this is some kind of satanic thing or whatever, or you can look at it like this is what God put on this planet for us to learn, or you can just look at it like, you know what, it's just movement. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. I'm just trying to be healthy. I'm trying to live better. My doctor told me I need to stretch, and this is a form or a class that I found to stretch, and that's it.
Okay.
I gotta challenge him on that one.
I remember that. Derek.
Well, the reason I said they're both right is the friend is right because she said, look, it's just exercise. The other lady who did the research, even in the research, there's nothing in the Bible that says that we are, by bending here or bending there, that we're worshiping another God, unless that's what you're thinking in your heart. But I would say this to the Christian lady. If you do something that you think is wrong, the Bible says that is sin to you. So that's why I say they're both right.
Exactly.
All right. Vulcan.
Yeah, so just to echo the point that Derek made at the end there, anything not done in full faith is sin according to the Bible. So the thing is, if you don't have full faith, full confidence that you should be doing it, then as Derek said, you shouldn't be doing it. And so that's the middle ground there. So I wouldn't tell her go do it if her conscience is saying she shouldn't be doing it. T Reason brought up that she did her research. She did her research as far as like comparative religions and stuff like that. That's good, but I think she didn't do her research with the Bible. I don't think she did her research with critical thinking. And this is another example to genetic fallacy because she's disqualifying something because of its origin. Yoga has a meaning that's pagan, and in certain yoga practices they do incorporate pagan things. I would tell a Christian, don't participate in that kind of stuff. But as far as the movement of the body, the contortions of the body, that stuff is benign. It's neutral. I should say. You know, somebody can be doing it. You know, if you're in front of a bunch of kids and you're doing some pelvic thrust yoga stuff, I would say that's wrong to do that in front of them kids. You see what I'm saying? Whether it's pagan or it's not. So you can move your bodies in ways that can be abusive or a mistreatment to people, and you can use your body in ways that can be helpful to yourself or other people. It's going to boil down to one, the intent. You know, what is your intent?
Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss.
And so the thing is, when people are doing it, it goes to the Christmas thing and all the other topics when it comes to this paganism. People do a bunch of research and they see the research and they go, because of that research, I can't do it. But you got to research what the Bible says about it too. And you got to research, am I thinking about it logically? Every idea that goes to your mind has to go through reason. And you got to make sure.
You know what I want to say, Vulcan? I will say this, that guess what? If you can make any narrative play towards the narrative that you want to make up in your mind, you can make any narrative do that. You can make any narrative do that. Oh, this is wrong. I'm going to make it wrong. You can research yourself to make sure that what you believe is wrong and it's going to be wrong. You have the ability to do that.
For sure. People can definitely do that. The
Right,
Bible says that the defiled, all things are defiled.
Okay. All right. So Vulcan, you mentioned the genetic fallacy a few times. Let's get into this fallacy description. Basing this is what a genetic fallacy is, also known as fallacy of origins, fallacy of virtue.
So yeah, I'll read it real quick. So it says right here, basing the truth claim of an argument on the origin of its claim or premises. So it's saying right there that if somebody is basing something's true off of where it came from, that's a fallacious way of reasoning. And just so everybody understands what a fallacy is. People use fallacy out of context all the time. People think fallacy means something's wrong. Fallacy means it violates a law of logic. There are 3 to 4 fundamental laws of logic. Transitive property is one that people sometimes put in the laws of logic or not. But fallacies are a violation of one of the laws of logic, one or more of the laws of logic. And logic is how we reason, how we use our mind to reason. The Bible commands people to be reasonable. The book of James says that we need to be open to reason. So in the John 1:1, it says the beginning was the word was God, the word was with God. That word is the word logos. So we get the word logic from. So at the heart and center of having the mind of Christ is being reasonable, is being logical. So when you're studying history and figuring out pagan this, pagan that, pagan this, pagan that, also study logic, also study reason. If you go to Bible college, you're gonna have to take a course in reason, because some concepts, some theological motifs require a little bit more than just average everyday reason. You're gonna have to juggle a few different verses and reconcile things that may not seem reconcilable in the beginning. You're gonna have to deal with more complex ideas. And so your everyday run-of-the-mill reasoning skills that you may have had just from naturally having them may not be good enough. You may have to elevate your skills to grasp at certain concepts. And this is one example right here. So that's what I say on that.
Therese, you want to express?
That boy Vulcan was spitting right there. The only thing I like what he said. I like everything he said towards the end. But where he started off, he said that she didn't do enough research or enough homework. She actually did. What she was saying was based on the Bible. It says in the Bible, there's but only one God, and there will be people that will say there's many. So she did base it on scripture. There is scripture to back up her claims. Okay. And that's pretty much where she was going with it. It wasn't just that she researched yoga. She was actually saying from her conviction, from her standpoint, she didn't feel comfortable.
Well, let me say this, because even though she did say that she worships the one God, she did say that was derived from another God. And so she did say that part too. So she acknowledged another God. That's why in the Corinthians it says those are dumb idols. They're not real gods. That's why in the Old Testament they would mock them and say, is your God using the restroom right now? Is that why he's not here? They would mock them because those gods weren't real. And so my point is saying she did say that, and I know I'm sure she didn't mean it in a bad way. But my point is saying, when you're saying it was derived from another God, no, it was derived from you could say demonic, practices. You could say it was derived from the mind of some human being.
Paganism. You could say it's paganism. False idols.
And paganism, for the audience out there, it's not just some term people throw around that just means I don't like it because I'm a Christian. Paganism has to do with worshiping creation. That's the basic understanding. If you worship anything that's considered creation and it's not the creator, it's considered paganism.
And that's where we have to define worship, because that's where I'm having a disagreement with you guys, is because
micro worship.
You guys don't see certain things as a form of worship that I see as a form of worship. That's where we may differentiate. And I had some smoke for him. He dipped out, but I had some smoke for him because he even in his example, he was saying you could go through the moves, you could do this, you could believe that. And she already stated from her standpoint where she stood with it. So just like he's saying he can be on this side of the fence, she was clearly on the other side. And in the Bible, it says, if you feel that conviction, that's not for me to decide or any of us on the panel. She already had that conviction that it was not meant for her to do that. It was not meant for her to partake. So at that point, you can't force nobody and say, oh, push it to the side and just consider it and be considerate of it and don't look at it that way. She's already given you her reasons and backed it up with scripture and also researching into what yoga is. So she has solid ground to stand on with her argument because she gave valid points.
Derek, you want to chime in on this?
Well, I mean, yes, she didn't back anything up with scripture. She just used the scripture that had some words that relate to something that she said. She wasn't using scripture to back up that to that point. The other thing is what if the friend is a Christian? Can the one that feels that it's wrong, how is she going to teach this other young lady what you're saying? How is she going to show her in the Bible, look, sister, this is why you shouldn't do it. There's nothing she researched or has that would be able to show that other girl that this is wrong. Now, if you think it's wrong, that's another story. Then don't do it. But she wouldn't be in a position or have enough information from the Bible to teach that it's wrong as a Christian in general.
I think if she would have had more time to speak on the subject, I think she would have backed it up further.
Yeah,
I think she was trying to keep it brief. And she did actually say she did quote something that was in the Bible. So that's what I'm saying. So it's you're discrediting her when she literally said those things.
Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, but she said there would be many gods. I mean, that's not backing anything up.
No, she said there is only one God. Meaning will say there is many.
Y'all talking over each other one at a time. Derek, you got the floor.
Yeah.
No, y'all was talking. I'm
sorry. I was just saying yeah to what he was saying. Yeah, she said she. Oh, okay. Sorry. So yeah. No, you're right, T. She's saying that yes, there's only one God, but there's going to be many. But in the context of this yoga thing, there's nothing that she can use from that verse in the Bible to say this is why you shouldn't practice yoga.
Yeah. So
she just showed all of the false gods that's associated with it. She showed all of the false gods. She said there's over 300.
Well,
but she's not worshiping the false
She
gods.
said the names of the poses are named after these things.
Yeah, the days of the week are named after gods too. So I can't say Wednesday hump day.
Ignorance is bliss, like we were saying earlier.
I can't say I can't say.
But once you're aware, once you have that,
hold on, y'all talking at the same time.
Yeah, real quickly, I'll be short to your reason. I don't want to cut your wisdom. But the thing is, what I'm saying is that if we start disassociating ourselves from things that are named after pagan, you'd be surprised with stuff we have to get rid of. We can't even say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday stuff anymore because those are named after pagan gods.
Well, you just got some knowledge on me because I wasn't aware of that. I hadn't heard that.
Thursday is Thor. That's the Viking god.
I would have to do some research on that and see how much validity
what's your thoughts on that? They said if going by what you stated earlier, that if that's the case, then there's a lot of words we won't be able to use in our English vocabulary.
We need to start making some changes.
February, March,
got to make some changes.
June, July.
Some changes need to start getting made.
All of that.
In the name of God, in the name of Jesus.
So you saying we should check?
We need to start correcting the things that are not biblically aligned.
I mean, you can pull that up, so you can pull up Thor. It's a simple. I just pulled it up with,
because I think that's the way the devil's deception works. He wants you to be doing things that are ungodly without you knowing you're doing things that are ungodly. If he can just get you slightly off track, if he can get you, hold on, let me finish. Hold on, you interrupted me. Hold on, let me finish.
In front of the Lord.
Hey, hold on, what's going on, fellas? I gotta talking at the same time. This is the question I want to ask you, T Reasons. While I pull this up. So just us saying Thursday, you saying that's the devil having us. I want to make sure, help me understand what you're saying. I got to go to work Thursday. Is something evil when I'm saying that?
So are you talking to me or James?
Talking to you, T Reasons.
So Vulcan was saying earlier, Vulcan just said that Thursday represents Thor. That's new information to me. I got to look that up on my own and see if that claim is absolutely factual. I'm taking his word for it right now because I don't know.
Yeah, I'm about
it's not an area of my expertise. But what I'm saying is, if that is the case, then changes should be made. We shouldn't just conform and continue to do things wrong when we know there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let me jump in because you said you didn't know the word Thursday is derived from the Old English Thor's Day, named in honor of Thor. Yeah, dramatic god of thunder, strength, and protection. So yeah, it's true.
Okay, is there any other days?
Well, I wanted to Vulcan, you had a question you want to leave from that? I just showed T Reasons that was true. Is there anything you want to go from there?
Well, I was just making the point that I don't know if Derek, you had something you wanted to say, but I was just making the point to say that sorry, go ahead, Derek.
Well, he was asking are there any more, and I was saying, well, yeah, you got Tuesday is what is it? Germaniac god of war. I mean, so all of them have that. That's all he was, getting at.
So the thing is, and this is what's called reductio ad absurdum for the audience out there. So whenever somebody is having a point, what we want to do is stretch their logic and see what conclusions does it lead to. So I'm saying that if we stop dealing with things that have pagan names or pagan origins, you're going to not be able to do most things because a lot of things that we're unaware of are linked to that. You got to think that our language we speak, the language we speak comes, that's why there's so many contradictions in our language because they pull from so many different places, Latin and Greek, and our languages come from so many places. So you're going to learn the names came from this, the holidays come from this, the symbols you see on the dollar bill come from pagan origins, triangles, and all kind of things. You're gonna realize, wow, there's pagan origins for that and pagan origins for that, because the reality of the fact of the matter is that that's where we pull from. That's where our ancestors come from. That's where the ancestors, people that built this country and founded the language or whatever it is, they come from people that were pagan, and that's what the stuff they associated with it.
You mind reading this definition of Vulcan?
Reductio ad absurdum, a mode of argumentation or a form of argument in which a proposition is disproven by following its implications logically to an absurd conclusion. So that's what that's saying in a nutshell. Everybody is just saying that whenever somebody makes a point, if you can show that it leads to absurd situations and absurd conclusions, that's a way of going back to what they said originally and going like, do you really believe this? Because you believe this, that means you got to believe this thing over here. And you even would admit that's pretty absurd. So that's what that's the reductio ad absurdum.
Okay. All right. So, man, we made it, y'all. We made it. Start off, T Reasons. Please leave the audience what you want to say about this topic and keep it concise and just overall thoughts about what you want the audience to know, your perspective on things.
I think my faith always comes first. And I think that when you have situations where you start to come to know things and the truth about things and the validity of them, I think we should shun away from things that are not biblically sound or things we should be doing. Like when we recognize something to be pagan or false, I think that those things should be changed. I think anytime you have something where you're doing it wrong for a long period of time, but then you figure out the right way to do it, you should do it the right way. You don't say, well, I've been doing it wrong my whole life, so I'm just going to keep doing it wrong. No, you got to fix those things. And I think that the devil uses those slight deceptions to keep Christians and believers off track to where now you're doing all of the things that were against God's teachings unknowingly, because now I have you just slightly over here. So you're going to miss the mark. I can't make you miss the mark by this much, but I can just make you just slightly start doing things that are against God and against God's teaching. And I think when new information is presented and we realize the correct way, the right way we should be doing things, we should be moving in that direction constantly.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you for joining us again. And my guy, Aki, good and crazy news, man. Talk to me, man.
Please watch my show on YouTube, y'all. Listen.
Yes, please subscribe to Aki. Please subscribe to the channel.
Ignorance is bliss. And that's what the part people keep missing. This whole thing that y'all talking about. Ignorance is bliss. If you don't know something, you don't know it. And nobody's going to punish you for not knowing it. When the girl said, you know what? I want you to do yoga with me. And she decided that she would go and educate herself on something that nobody, God, Jesus, the Most High, nobody would have said, oh, you know what? You out there doing yoga. We're going to punish you. Nobody said that. She implied that on herself. And I know I'm talking a lot of stuff, but I'm tired of explaining all of this stuff to everybody. That guess what? Everybody's failing to realize is that God is a loving God.
Okay.
I call myself being an atheist at one point in my life when I was 12 and 13 years old, because I was like, I'm gay. God, why'd you make me like this? You know, I'm like, if you, I'm supposed to be made in your image. Why you make me like this? I don't want to be gay. I want to.
No, hold on. We that's another topic.
Let me finish. Y'all
keep it. Hurry. We got other people to go. Go ahead. Go.
Let me finish.
You're almost done. Come on.
I didn't ask for this. But guess what? At the same time, what you talking about, T, and what you talking about, Derek, y'all don't understand is, guess what? Ignorance is bliss. I didn't know nothing. I don't know God's will. I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know. He made me like this for a reason that I don't even know about. And I was upset with him and pissed off with him until I had to realize that God loves all of his children. This was the point I'm trying to get to. God loves
1 minute.
Wait, hold on, Enos, because everything that's on this planet, everything that's on this planet for us is for us. Whether it's taking hot yoga classes that you don't agree with, to fucking going out there and doing whatever it is that you want to do with your life. It's here for you to do as long as you're not hurting nobody else. And that's the point, and that's what I had to learn. Because guess what? If I was a straight man, I have fucking 19 kids and 17 baby mamas. And I said what I said, and I'm done with that.
And for the last time, watch your language. Shout out.
Come on, man.
Thank you, Aki, for your testimony. We definitely.
Hey, I'm glad you found your faith again, man. That's important.
Yeah, appreciate
if anything.
Yeah, but that's my guy, Aki. Let's go with Derek Bang.
Definitely support his show. Very entertaining show. Very educational. So you definitely got to check it out. He's been doing great things for sure. We appreciate having him on the show. He always brings the heat.
Yeah, he got views. My man got what, 1 million views?
Boy, got on his soapbox on Vulcan Soapbox.
Yeah, so y'all can learn a lot from Aki, man. What's up, Derek?
Man, so I guess my closing words would be just one of the things that was repeated today that I want to leave the audience of believers to know. There is no gospel of Paul. There is no gospel of Paul. And by the way, there is no gospel of Paul. They're
agree.
all quoting the words of Christ because he is the word. And that means all 66 books, everything from Genesis to Revelations is pointed all at one deity, and that is Christ.
MAGA is supporting Jesus and not Paul. That's what you're trying to tell me?
I said nothing about MAGA. Not at all. Because hey, here's the thing that I think the whole audience saw today is that when it comes to the Bible, there's two ways to interpret: exegesis and eisegesis. You can put the meaning in the text, or you can take the meaning out of the text. And today, there was a whole bunch of putting the meaning into the text. And that is something that has to be learned with time and with practice. But that's what I want to leave the audience with.
All right. Thank you for that, Derek Bang. It's a pleasure moderating this episode. And I really do believe that each one of us on this panel represent different personalities and within our culture. Diverse. I like, and for the audience, you can see that we all have different perspectives depending on the topic, and it's good to analyze it in a critical way. And I think we did a good job with that. That's my thoughts. Thank y'all for coming on. I enjoy having these dialogues with you, man. I really appreciate y'all coming on. My guy Vulcan with the last word, man. Talk to us, man.
So I just want to briefly state again why we do the show, and Enos did a really good job explaining it. It's meant to be a place of diverse perspectives. Everybody on this panel, I know personally, we've hung out, we've talked about all kinds of different topics and stuff like that. And what I've noticed with just having conversation, people get heated. I'm not dealing with that person anymore. And I think a lot of times it does a disservice to everybody, because I know that most things in life that we enjoy came from fierce debate and discussion. Those of us who are in the world of sales and business, Jim Collins has a book called From Good to Great. One of the things he said that separated companies from being good and people from being good and being great, and people being great and companies being great, was because people that are great, they're not afraid of dissenting views. They want to usher in dissenting views because they want, hey, look, I think I have the best idea. If you think you have an idea better than me, I want to hear it. I want us to have an exchange because I want to figure out if I'm right or I'm wrong so I can be on the right side. Winston Churchill, he talks about in the book, because people wouldn't want to tell Winston Churchill bad news, he had an entire department developed just to tell him the facts of the war, because who wants to tell our fearless leader the bad news of the war? But it was so important for him to get the truthful information and to get the most exact information, regardless of how we're going to make him feel, that he had a department developed to do that. And I think that's what the focus of this is, because people don't want to hear other dissenting views. In the internet, once you get your algorithm set up, all you hear is people that agree with you, or primarily you hear people that agree with you. And that inhibits your growth. That's debilitating for everybody, because you don't know there's other information out there that may help you. It may not change your mind. It may just give you a stronger resolve, because now they added something for you to consider, and that you were able to address that and go, now I believe, but I believe even more because now I vetted, I've done the peer review. And then even in the Bible, Acts 15, it said a sharp dispute broke out from among them. Even in the scriptures, people debated. The man who presents his case first seems right till another comes and cross-examines. That's the nature of the show. That's the desire for the show. Now, about the Vulcan specifically, for me, I do approach things in a way to make people annoyed a little bit of time, because I want to slow it down. I want to focus on things that are more quantifiable. People think that I'm trolling. Sometimes people think that I'm gaslighting. Sometimes people think that I'm doing it to look smarter than I really am. You a bootleg Jordan Peterson, whatever it is. People got all kind of things, theories about what I'm doing. But the reason why I think it's important is because if anybody's ever had a conversation with somebody and somebody tells you they think or they believe something for no other reason than because God told them, or because they just got a feeling about it, or they can't explain it, but they think it's true, and it's something that affects you, how annoying is that? Anybody that's been in relationships with somebody, but I just know. Well, how do you know? I just do. You'd be like, I can't work with somebody like this, because if they get the wrong impression, they think they see something that they didn't see, there'd be no way for me to have a conversation about it or convince them out of it. There will be no way, because there's nothing linear. There's no logic. There's no reason behind why they think what they think. So that's why it's so important that we ask the questions. We have the dialogue. We slow it down when it's frustrating and go, hey, look, I know you got a point you want to make, but this has to be a conversation. So you need to hear what they say, and then you got to respond to that. And you got to answer the question. Hold on. He asked you a question. Can you answer the question? If you don't think it's relevant, say why it's not relevant. That's the heart of this show. And we want it to be different than other shows where shouting matches and everybody just gets on their soapbox and says their point and then sails off into the sunset. That's not how to have intellectual discourse. That's not how to have intellectual virtues. That's not the spirit. So that's what the purpose of the show is, and I appreciate the panelists and the audience for taking time to see our show. And that's what we got.
I do want to say this. Vulcan, he's like this in real life for the audience. This is not an act.
I know.
Okay. And the guys can tell, so some things get annoying. No, he's really like this for real. All right. So remember, like and subscribe. Thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe. And until next time.
I'm here to stay on my soapbox and proclaim that to the world.
On this show.
This is the hottest show on the planet right now.
What's the debate?
Ain't no debate.